Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome back to another Sunday night for Premier Endurance League GT3. Back with your limited series racing action and the hills of Italy and the Autodromo del Mugello are going to bring us tonight's 2-hour GT3 endurance racing feast. Scotty Rankin and Jimmy Parfit behind the microphones. JP, been a while between drinks since you and I have been in a commentary box together, mate. And Mugello, Italian circuit, great place to return. I actually really love this track, actually.
Yeah, it's a good track. 3.259 miles, 5.245 kilometers. It's been running since the mid-70s, 74 to be exact, to be blatantly honest, and it hasn't really gone through many changes. It's stayed as it is pretty much from 74 all the way to now. Going to be rather interesting run round here in a Gen 2 V8s. That was exciting to say the least. However, the breaking point was absolutely miles going into turn number one. That's going to be one of the flashpoints. If they don't get turn one right, it could be dramatic. It could be a big old pile-up at the start of the race. So we're going to look forward to seeing how these guys get on. It's going to be a very interesting one, Sky. As I say, I like this one. I like this track. There aren't many that I do like, but this is one of them. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys get on.
Just taking a quick look through the manufacturers, it looks to be the top five is dominated by Acuras and Porsches here tonight. No other manufacturer even presenting itself that far up. So that's what we're looking at the moment. Qualifying, the flag has actually just been waved, and we are very close to going across to our warm-up session. Those results will be locked in here in just a few moments. The big thing that's worthwhile pointing out is have a look at the margin from first to second place. Rui Quistra, 0.8 of a second. Locks in pole position. That is a massive margin.
Yeah, he's doing rather well, isn't he, Rue? And this is the thing, I think, at the moment that we're going to have to look out for. He's sitting in the standings as well, so I'm hopeful that he'll be all right. I think he's going to move up quite well here as well, sitting in fifth at the moment. So we'll have to find out how he gets on and whether or not he's going to be able to handle being out in front. He obviously is going to be in pole. We have got a brief little warm-up once again that we're going to be looking, seeing how some of these guys get on. But I think, to be honest with you, Scott, I'm a little bit worried that obviously with the way that the track is, there's a lot of places that can go wrong here as well. You've got that run out of Poggio Seco into Matarazzi and Borgia Lorenzo that could cause a bit of a problem as well. It's not a fast left-hander into a right, but the right exit, you can be on the power and get that run down into Casanova Cervelli. So that's going to be an area that we're going to look out for. You've got the long sweeping double right of Arrabbiata 1 and 2 before they go into Scarpia, and that area there, Scarperia, Pelagio, Corinteo, Biandetti 1 and 2, they're quite slow to fast. The exit out of Biandetti 1 and 2 is definitely quick before they go running into Buccini. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle this. Side by side, yes, they can go side by side, but they will have to give a allotted amount of room. If they don't, well, it could go a little bit wrong. One of the other things we've got to look out for as well is the gravel that's coming in onto the side of the circuit as well. This is a very gravelly circuit. You can see it there at the moment with Glenn Jones. He's gone for a couple of corners. The gravel's going to be coming in. As the gravel comes in, the racing line shrinks, and the problem is they're going to be very single file at certain parts of the racetrack, because going too wide onto gravel as well, you've got no grip and the outside line's not going to work. So we're going to find out there's going to be a lots involved in this one, and I think it's going to be, well, let's just say hold on to your hats at home.
Yeah, I reckon that's actually probably not too far away from the best way to approach this one. It's going to be a little bit difficult tonight. Overtaking at this circuit tends to be a little bit more on the difficult side. Regardless, we have got ourselves 41 cars out there participating here tonight. So reasonably sized field, and yeah, that's going to potentially cause a few issues. The biggest issue I see, and we talked about this back at Bathurst, and we talked about this all season long, is when you got 40 plus cars on a grid, it's making sure you survive lap one. There is literally no point in getting out there and going racing unless your first thoughts are, yep, let's get to the end of lap 2. And that comes with a little bit of circumspect, giving a little bit of breathing room. I'm just watching Rue Koistra after qualifying on pole, doing a practice pit lane entry. That's one of the ways that your night can come unstuck as well. Cold tyres, he knows, Rue will know and know comfortably that he's got good pace. So would be fairly confident in letting somebody go on lap 1. Yeah. Knowing that in the long run, he can do some fuel saving, he can pick that spot back up, he can disappear under the sunset. There'll be a few drivers who'll be looking at the qualifying times and going, that's not necessarily all that I had to offer, and I think I can make some moves going forward. So lap 1, JP, it's a race driver's dream because you can gain a lot, you can lose a lot, but you can also end the night very early, and you can make a big swing of the night. And you can grab 5 or 10 spots on lap number 1, and then you can block probably half of those off for the rest of the race. Job done. That's a very successful night at the office.
Yeah, but as we normally say, you can't win on lap 1, but you can definitely lose it on lap 1. You've got to, if you're going to make these moves, and I get, the exact point of making the moves, but they've just got to be mindful that they can lose the whole race on lap 1. There are plenty of corners here that will cause you problems. And there you go with Jesse McMiniman, straight across the grass, big old snap. He's coming onto the track. He hit that concrete, steered it away as well. Lucky for Jesse McMiniman. But that's exactly what we're talking about. There are plenty of places like that that can cause you a problem. Cold tyres, lap 1. To be honest with you, Scotty, I wouldn't really chance anything unless there is a blatant open door that I can go through. I would just be sitting in. You've got 2 hours. Dude, it's not a sprint race. It's not 40 minutes. They've got 2 hours to go and play this. I think it's going to be interesting.
Well, yes, but the same thing is you're going to get opportunities on that one that are never going to present themselves. So I partially agree. You've got to be, if anything, on lap 1, you're a little bit more aggressive than you're going to be throughout the rest of the race. But at the same time, it's aggression with the understanding of there's going to be less room, less opportunity, and stuff will happen. So a few comments coming in. The Acuras will monster this. Very good fuel economy here and super consistent pace. Got to look after your tyres. That is the biggest strength of the Acura at the moment. Not only does it have pace, looks after its tyres, it fuel savers. It does all of the above. It's everything you really want. It's got a nice bit of poke in a straight line as well. So it really, that Acura has just come out and it really has been the all-round package, and it's been very, very difficult to get any sort of control back over that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think the Acura is going to be right up there, and it's going to be well and truly on the pace and that as well. But you and I both know, Scotty, when we watch these races, we can't sit here and say it's going to be won by Rue. We can't sit here and say Trent Allen's going to go and win it in the Ford, because once you start getting through pit stops, once you start getting back marker traffic in, literally anything can happen. And that's what these races are. There's a little bit of a survival instinct involved in it because anything can happen, and that's the problem here.
Yeah, anything can and often does happen. It's part of the reason why we love motor racing. It's part of the reason I love cricket too. Well, there is your starting grid. Like we said, Rue Koistra, 146.682, nearly 0.8 of a second. It's 3/4 of a second back to the next closest car. Jesse Butler will be lining up alongside of him in the first of the Porsches. From here on back, it's a couple of Acuras on row 2. James Mason, Daniel McCrowan will be lining up on row number 2. Rick Provenzali manages to finally put a qualifying run together. He is going to be on 5th spot. Trent Allen will be alongside his outside, the first of the Fords. Matt Webber is managed to put a very, very strong qualifying effort together for him. He will start out of 7th place. Alfonso Latella alongside of him. Dan Piper out at 9th spot. And the first of our Challenger drivers is actually going to be Bobby Camo, who manages to qualify all the way up in P number 10. Outside of 11th is going to be Leith McClummett, but I've got news for you. Leith McClummett didn't take to the grid. He's starting from pit lane, so that's a big one. And Ben Jeffrey rounds out your 12, JP.
Yeah, then we're going on to Matty Gerard there in 13th with Kurt Chapman as well. Brad Coates sitting in 15th is going to be alongside Brooke Kadai. That's going to be interested as well. Jaden Wilcox and Martin Hallinan, and 17th and 18th. Then Isaac Norman and Jamie Saxon, 19th, 20th. Then Nick Miller, Benjamin Brook, Nick Bottrell, and then, of course, Harry Inwood down in 24th.
Yeah, from here on back, we're going to get into Jeremy Greentree and Sean Benici out of 25th and 26th. Mark Foster is all the way back in 27th for the DMT team. There'll be news on those guys as we jump in. Brent Tucker alongside of him. Matt McCamley and Brent Johnson are going to be rounding out our top 30. Greg Haney from Glenn Jones, Vinnie Nguyen and Kurt Nommensen, 33rd and 34th. Jimmy Middleton from 35th. Nathaniel Coben, 3 seconds off the pace in 36th. And the last couple rows, Stefan Mellis from Patrick Reardon and Chris Withers from Chris Ruddle. And I believe there is one more driver, which I believe will be Jesse McMenamin, which will be 41st and last.
Yeah, there's going to be a 41 cars on the grid here. You know, what can go wrong, Sky?
A heck of a lot. And remember, Leith McClyman and Harry Inwood making it 2 cars starting from pit lane, by the way, so not just one.
It'd be interesting to see what Harry does here. He's been quite quick over the season. It'll be interesting to see how he copes with this. Going through the field here, he's got to wait until everybody goes through, of course, and then they're going to sit at the back, and then basically it's going to be green for them guys to see how they get on. But, well, stops are going to be coming. Fuel saving is going to be coming. Lots of action is going to be coming. And, well, let's hope these guys get to the end.
Worthwhile talking a little bit about our outright points as well. This is just the outright points, both classes combined together. Trent Allen from Andrew Dutch, front two. Both have been in the Mustang thus far, so the Mustang's been proving to be the consistent package. Daniel Piper and Brad Coates, 2 McLarens, 3rd and 4th. Richard Mayer, first the BMW, is back in 5th. Harry Inwood from Jamie Sachs and Jeremy Greentree, Rue Koistra and Alfonso Letala, your top 10 in the outright points. In the elite class points, it's just about all of that, except for there's a few condensed. Adam Burhop, Jake Slade, Owen Coleman, Ben Jeffrey round out your 10. Challenger leader is Brad Coates. He's been doing extremely well for himself. He's inside that top 10 in the outright points. Harry Inwood, Jamie Saxon, remember Inwood starting from pit lane here tonight. Greentree and Jesse McMenamin are your top 5 in terms of your Challenger standings as well. Righto, we're actually coming to the final sector. We've got one more turn to go. The safety car will peel off and we'll be underway.
How's Rue going to handle this? Up rush down into turn number 1. Man, this is either going to go very, very successfully or this is going to go very, very wrong. I don't think there's an intermediate in this one, Scotty.
And I'm just actually reaching out to a couple of the guys for spotters that I can see for a little bit of data as well. So I'll have more information coming your way in just a few moments. Safety cars off. Rue Koistra set the pole position lap. He's going to have the jump when they get down here. Green flags in the air. And 41 GT3s tear off down towards turn number 1. This is Mugello. This is Premier Endurance League. And here we go.
Koistra got a start that he needed to get there in between, to be in front of Mason. Mason's coming along, trying to come alongside at the moment. Everybody seems to be making it through. They're a little bit free wide further back. I would not be recommending this. Somebody's going to back out here because they cannot go through this section. Free wide, it narrows too quickly. There's been a little bit of drama at the back end at the moment. Vinnie Nguyen looks like he's had some issues. Jimmy Middleton possibly as well. But Rue's done what he had to do. He had to get through the first sector without any problems, and he's done that. He's now running into Casanova Savelli. There is more, Scotty. There is more. Bottrell's been involved. Johnson's been involved. There's a lot gone on towards the back end at the moment. But these guys at the moment in the front are doing what they need to do. They've got away without any dramas.
Well, I've seen Ben Jeffrey actually just spin on his own, so the rear end of that car has gotten away from him. And he gone for a little bit of spin. He managed to catch it and get back out there. Leith McClymon's gained a bunch of spots, but you're right. Johnson, Bottrell are the cars that I'm seeing, and there's more because we're missing one of those cars. So somebody hasn't taken a start. I think it's Chris Ruddle, unfortunately. So we are back to a 40-car field.
Yeah, 40 car is fine. I don't think we really could do with any more than that. I think here as well. But tucked in at the moment with Webber. This is basically going through Buyandetti 1 and 2. You can see they're on the gas. Now this coming from Piccini, looking for the right-hand side, that little slanted roof, onto the brakes just after, down through the gears they go. Now, one of the interesting things, when we did this in the V8 supercars in the Gen 2s, we had to brake at the beginning of the curbing on the left-hand side. I'll be interested to see if they need to do the same thing here to get these these cars stopped. They're topping north of 150 at the moment. You can see Matt Webber tucked in. You watch the curb on the left-hand side. It's just coming up here. Just there was where we had to brake in the V8s. We can go a little bit longer here in the GT3s. Webber takes it and tucks it straight on the inside. Great job from him. Moved himself up into a position there as well. The interesting thing for Webber is if he can get that inside for turn number 1, he's all right for the run out of Lucio and Poggio Seiko. It's when you're on the inside, it's really difficult to get the power down and be able to accelerate away. But at the moment, Rue out in front here, literally dominating this with about a second gap he's got going on at the moment, and is literally flying away. So great job from him. But Kurt Chapman has overtaken the lead in the Challengers.
Yeah, so he's obviously been on the move early. I can tell you there's been a lot of moving and shaking inside that top 10. Daniel McCrowan started out a 4th spot. He's already slid all the way back to 7th. Big gainer though, Jaden Wilcox, and I did see his Acura get quite aggressive on lap number 1. He's picked up a boatload of spots. He's +8 on lap 1. That's a huge jump. He's gained a lot of time, a lot of space. You're right though, Chapman does lead the Challenger class. The issue for him, Matt Gerard immediately in behind, which says to me something happened to Bobby Camo on that opening lap in that Porsche.
Yeah, we'll try and have a look and try and find out where Bobby went a little bit Pete Tong, but clearly he's gone wrong somewhere for him. So I'll do a little quick search and see if I can find out what went on. Oh, yes, I can. Did he actually go? He went somewhere and then he lost an absolute chunk of positions.
It was down at a turn 12 Corinteo. He jumped on the brakes and the car snapped to the right-hand side. So
yeah, it looks like he's lost 3 spots there, starting probably up here with Matty Gerard. Watch Bobby in front. Does seem to have some problems going through the right. Oh, yes, sir, he did. Big old snap, and poor old Bobby Camo has lost a chunk of positions there as well. But still, at the moment, considering what we thought might have happened, you know, we might have got away with it a little bit.
Just had word in as well. Guaranteed a 3-stopper, so fuel savings probably a little bit off the equation.
Yeah, we're trying to see if we can find out some of what went on at the beginning. McMinimum may have been involved, I think, as well. So we'll try and find out what went on. Nick Bottrell, Brad Coates and Jeremy Greentree looked like they had their own dramatic moment, but it could just be the fact that they've slowed down into turn number 1. They were 3 wide in front. Oh, yeah, everybody checked up. Look at that. Bang, bang. But dominoes, unfortunately. And that was one of the problems we had on the first lap. But everybody at the moment, including with Dan Piper, sitting in here behind Daniel McCrowan. And he's trying to make his way forward at the same time. So action still taking place, and I think this is going to be like this, Scotty, for probably the first 5 to 10 laps, and then maybe it might start settling down after.
Yeah, well, I can tell you Rue's already out to a 1.6 second lead, so 1.7 he crests with that lead as soon as I talk about it. So qualifying pace converting over to race pace at the moment.
Yeah, Rue doing a great job. He's escaping up the road, which is what he needs to do. 1.8, 1.86 at the moment there as well. How's the draft going to affect this Porsche and Trent Allen in this Ford Mustang? They're on their run down into turn number 1. You can see him closing. Is he going to be able to get there? No, he's not. That gives us an idea that the gaps there have got to be at least 2.5. Ooh, as Latella tries to go and nearly go up the inside there of Jaden Wilcox. It's going to have to be about 2.5 tenths coming out of that final corner to basically make sure that they can at least get the run down into turn 1. But there is still fighting all the way through the field. Even Harry Inwood has, of course, ended up from the pit lane. He's just gone past the Lamborghini of Nathaniel Coburn, and now he's got Ben Jeffrey and Patrick Reardon in front with Leif McClimate, who's another one who's come out of pit lane as well. Lost, obviously, down from where he was in the grid, but at the same time he has gained quite a lot of positions because he started from pit lane.
So getting a little bit of an update coming your way as well. Porsche is actually quite good on its tyres around here, but the front left tyre is going to be the tyre that we're abusing the most. Unfortunately for those drivers that are in the McLaren, it leans on the front left tyre quite a lot. So so McLaren driver is going to be in a little bit of a hole. I get the feeling anyone in the Mustang will be as well. Acura should be one of the better cars. Again, like we were saying in the pre-show, better on the tyre. So they're going to be in a really, really nice spot. But yeah, with the Porsche and the way that it drives, you'll drive it off the rear a little bit more than you will the front. That'll help those tyres. For Harry Inwood, starting from the rear of the field and pit lane, already on the way through to 35th.
Yeah, he can tighten up a heck of a lot more. There was a big old snap there as well from that forward to Patrick Reardon. And Inwood does make up another position, but he can run a little bit over on the curbing on the inside there. Now coming into the left-hander just after the slanty board on the left-hand side. Into that final corner he goes now as well. Great action taking place, but we've got Ben Brook at the moment in the Acura, tucked up behind Brook Kadai.
Well, there was an issue with Nick Bottrell on that one as well. He's been penalised for... That was the contact that we did see down at turn 2, so he was actually the car that triggered those issues.
Yeah, what's going on here up to the moment with Provenzali, McCrowan, Piper, Wilcox, Webber? They're all sort of bunched in at the moment. That is Trent Allen and further up the field. So it's Matt Webber who's sitting here like a cork in a bottle, of course. Ricky there sitting in 6th place in Class 6 overall with McCrowan in behind him. Ricky, of course, qualified in 5th place, down 1 place at the moment. I don't think he's going to be overly worried. My fear is the Porsche, as you said, should be pretty good round here. There's not many top speed areas where the Porsche does struggle for it to be able to go, wrong. But then again, it is a Porsche and it will kill you at the slightest opportunity you give it. But I think at the end of the day, this is going to be very, very interesting here as well. How is the Mustang going to get on? It's not that long. It's got one long straight out the whole track here, Scotty. Is the Mustang going to struggle on the fact on some of the turns? We know it turns like a little bit of a boat at times, but is it going to go wrong? Nathaniel Coburn, however, has gone wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to talk about, was Nathaniel Coburn. So, yeah. Updates have come through as well from Race Control, and we'll get to those in just a moment. But in the meantime, Daniel Coburn in the Lamborghini loses it all on his own.
And the problem is he's stuck right in the middle of the racing line now. He does get it out the way. Spin it round, son. Spin it round. Get on your bike. Good job. But he's now all the way down the back end in 39th place. Provenzali, however. Oh, Ricky. Oh, my God. Bit of gravel on the right hand side of that corner. Jesus.
Still side by side though as they head down through the chicane. Finally managed to feed it back in, but in the meantime, how good's this drive from Jaden Wilcox? He's going to pick off another couple spots. He's now +9 to put himself inside the top 10. Provenzali's on the slide though, so qualifying speed was a big thing for Ricky Provenzali.
Yeah, this
onboard shot.
This is a great section. Through Arabiata 1 and 2, it's like a blind apex coming out as well. You point it over the hill, you press the throttle and hope for the best. You can take a lot of curb on the left there. Just be careful of that sausage curb. Again, on the left-hand side, you'll see that slanty board there just on the brakes. Through the right we go. Now, this is where they can pick up a lot of speed here. If they can get Arabiata 1 right, they can carry the throttle all the way through 2. Over the curb, he's carrying that throttle. There you go. He's got a nice little run out for Jaden Wilcox. Going to set him nicely up for Puccini. Hard on the brakes just after the board. And now he's going to look and try and stay within that 2.5 temp mark. If he can stay there, then he'll have a go going down into turn 1. If he can't get there, well, I think he's going to struggle. And at the moment, he's 2.6 back. So I don't think he's going to make it.
Well, the thing is, just looking at this group, is that Matt Webber actually looks very, very quick in a straight line. So I'm looking at the McLarens versus the Acuras, and the McLarens seem to be actually quite good on the straight, and the Acuras are better through the corners. You can see he's just going to show the nose, get underneath Daniel Piper a little bit, just to put him on the outside for turn 2, though. He'll be forced. He just can't find a little bit of a mid-corner snap as well. And the biggest strength, so have a look at this little battle pack. You got Matt Webber that leads at the McLaren. Daniel McCrowan looks to be a touch quicker than him at the moment, but can't get the job done because, again, just can't get close enough.
Yeah, Martin Hallen.
Straight line speed.
Martin Hallen and Brent Tucker. I've also had dramas. We'll have a look back at that. That's the thing, I think, when you're in this pack, Scotty, is that looking forward, looking back at the same time. You know, that's where the issue is here, and I think that's what they've got to be in control of, and try and make sure that they can do that.
You're not going to believe this, but you just quoted a Slim Dusty song, by the way. You probably have no idea who Slim Dusty is.
Not a Scooby-Doo.
Slim Dusty is one of the biggest Australian legends in terms of country music. So the song goes, looking forward, looking back, we've come such a long way down the track.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, the song is literally, I'm pretty sure the name of it's looking forward, looking back. But anyway, there you go. So you've done that accidentally, but that has a lot of meaning for Australian race fans.
I'll write that down. Go and Spotify it and see if I can find it here as well. But yeah, at the moment, this is 12 minutes gone at the moment. 2 pit stops tonight, says Shared. Nope, we did discuss it earlier on. We went 3, didn't we? We're going to be in 3, but look at this situation here. We're going to have all of these cars, and if these guys carry on, Kurt Chapman and Bobby Camo are not going to be far away from this either if they carry on fighting here. But some great fighting, and this track does deliver that. That's the thing. It can deliver really great racing.
Is it just me, or does Matt Webber's car not like that curve on the run into turn 1?
No.
It looks like he's violently shaken across it both times. The last 2 times I've sort of been keeping an eye on, because this battle pack has got some aggression in it.
Yeah.
McCrellan's going to miss an apex there down at turn 5.
We can take a lot there. Now take a lot on the exit. You can take a little bit more. There you go. But this is where he's got to let the car run out now in Arabiata 1. Let it run all the way out, all the way. There you go. Now bring it in for that blind apex. You can take a little bit more curb there, but he's let it run on the exit. He's now got to come into the brakes. Again, he can take a little bit more, stay off the sausage curb. The same with the exit. He can take more, stay off the sausage curb. It's all about being able to position your car. This is one of the tracks, I think, Scotty, we look at where flow is vitally important. You have to keep the flow of the circuit with you. As soon as, though, it starts going wrong, boy, oh boy, can you feel it go wrong as well.
Yeah, so just keeping an ear out. There's some communication, something to do with the initial race start as well. There was some question marks about that one. But this battle pack's not going to go away any time soon. Webber's again got an advantage, and now he's going to try and break the toe because McCrellan's a touch closer this time by. Remember, the run down of turn 1's not quite straight. There is a couple kinks in it. Hesitates towards the middle of the road, and McCrellan's asking questions. And the question I'm asking is, now I do know Daniel McCrellan, he is a very, very cool, calm customer, so we won't be too phased by moving about there. But for me, I've got to be honest, that's probably one move too many, as we're actually going to see Jaden Wilcox run a touch wide. The other thing I'm thinking is, if you're in an Acura and you know that you're good on tyres, make sure that you focus on breathing on the tyre, because that front left is going to take a pounding.
Yeah, that's the thing. Webber's got to be careful, because that was quite a late move into the braking zone. So he has to be careful to make sure that he doesn't keep doing that. Okay, I'm not going to lie, that was a little bit late for Webber. So McCrellan now has got to be mindful of that situation. He's got to be mindful that that could be a possibility. So how's he going to pick this one out? If he's quicker, he does really want to clear him, but because he's got Piper coming in behind him and Wilcox, who we know now is up 9 places. So, yeah, but McCrellan at the moment, in that rock and a hard place situation, does he go and hopes that Webber see him, or does he not and sit in behind him?
Well, the thing I'd be asking questions of is, okay, well, if he wants to hesitate and move around the road, all right, no worries, take the inside. I'm going to put the nose on the outside, just ask some questions of you. And Webber didn't look like he got into the final corner all that well this time by. Better drive out the other side, it looks like, for McCrellan. And the thing that will be saving Matt Webber a little bit is the fact that it is not a perfect straight line off the last corner. Mugello does have a lot of movement in the straight, and again, I just... Got to be careful. He has got to be careful. Webber could end up causing the drama here.
McCrowan again, tucked in right behind him on that run now. Coming into Matarazzi. Through the right, then through the left again. McCrowan still tucked in behind him on that run down into Casanova Sabelli. There's been some drama further back. It looks like Brant Tucker has jumped back to pit lane. Nick Miller's been off the side of the circuit. Matty Gerard has also been off. But McCrowan, is there going to be a height of frustration in there?
No, he's very cool and calm. Very cool under the collar. And again, I reckon he's waiting for Webber's tyres to overheat just a little bit and for them to fall off. You can see it already. It's through this section of the track that he's much, much quicker.
You say that, he did just miss the apex coming through that. Through into Bellagio. Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to struggle with it. I think he's going to try and get back within that 2.5 temp mark, tuck in behind Webber again, and see what he can do here. He's closing right in now. It's going to be hard on the brakes coming into Bacchini through. Oh, dude. Well, going to be interested to see how this one goes into turn one.
Well, he's a lot closer this time as Daniel McCrowan. So, winds the Acura up. She's got 2 turbos on her. Versus the British design car that is the McLaren. Japanese racing car versus British. And they both go a touch deep into turn one. McCrowan's left him a ton of room. They're going to go side by side as they get out the other side. He will have the inside at the apex of 2 and gets the job done finally. Right, Daniel McCrowan, you've been waiting for an opportunity. And like I said, JP, he is a cool customer. He waited, he was patient. He made sure that he got the opportunity and that it was a better one, and then he gets the job done.
Yeah, he did. Now it's all down to what Piper's going to be able to do. Is this going to be an expansion now from McCrowan? Is he going to turn around and go, right, I'm off, boys, you lot fight? And we see this so often with battle packs coming together. The front guy generally escapes because the back guys are continuing to fight in. And then it kind of goes like that. You know, you'll see McCrowan pull away, and then you'll see Webber and Piper have a battle, and then Piper might get through, and then he's going to go and escape up the road, and then Webber's going to end up going back. And that's kind of how it works. You can see McCrowan's opened up nearly a second already. So I think this is going to be a continuation of that situation. Brew is on rails tonight. You are right, Greg Brooks. He is on rails. He's out in front by 2.5 seconds already. We're only 20 minutes down here. Rue really showing what he's got in that car. And you can see what we just discussed. McCrowan escaping up the road. And that's how it's going to work here. But it's going to be now what Piper's going to be able to do tucked in behind Webber.
Yeah. And they're both in the McLaren, which means that that straight line speed difference should be very little. Something's happened to Stefan Mellis through the chicane, I believe, as well. So, it'd be difficult to cut away. I think we should stay with this one for a little while longer because Piper's getting closer. He is showing that nose.
Webber. Jesus.
But all of them going deep into turn one. McCrowan's deep. Piper was the only one that pulled the car up accurately. Webber's going to have one on the outside as they head to 2. Will Piper be able to stay there? Not quite. Forced to back out, but now he's going to be vulnerable to Wilcox. Yeah. And now we might have our first safety car of the night because we have got Stefan Mellis asking for a tow and Latella bought into that argument as well.
Yeah, I'll have a look at what Stefan got himself into here. But again, you can see Webber, very late moves going in. Piper's going to be tucked in behind him. Got to be careful of that late. It's almost a reactive move and not a proactive move. He sees the car pull out, then he reacts, when really he should already be preempting what's going to go on here. Look, there we go again. He saw that Piper pulled to the left, Webber went to the left. He's got to be more proactive, otherwise it's going to cause dramas.
Yeah. Good start defense does come with covering, and it's a cover really. It's not, you know, that's what you're looking for with good defense. Wilcox's tyres look like he's starting to go off. He can't keep with them to the middle sector of the lap, so he might have just taken the edge off those tyres. By the way, I've got a line into the HTS racing team, which consists of Jesse Butler, Justin Quinn, and Jeremy Greentree. And they were saying I believe our tow request has been confirmed, by the way, so I don't think we'll actually have that safety car. But I did just hear that Jeremy Greentree, with just a little bit of chilling out on the tyres, has actually managed to take 6 degrees
There it is again.
out of his
Oh, God.
tyre.
There it is again. Very late. I'm surprised they haven't turned around and said, dude, you've got to be careful here. He is so late going into defense on turn 1, Scotty, and I am shocked that Piper has not turned around and gone, you know, oh, see, look at this. We're getting movement in the braking zone. There's a lot of stuff going on. Got to be careful.
And keeping an eye, I'm just listening, and there's some stuff going on with race control. And by the way, Kurt Nolmanson's had some issues at the moment. He's just off track.
Oh,
This is Stefan Millis.
it was a bit of a nasty hip check there. I'm not quite sure who was alongside. What's the Mercedes? Oh,
That'll be 150 of Ben Jeffrey.
Oh.
I'm gonna say that angle's probably not telling us the best story, but I reckon I'm gonna say that Jeffrey was on the left-hand side of the road and he couldn't go any further, and Stefan's come across a little bit on him. He just, yeah. Watch this.
Oh, no, he never. He definitely didn't move off his line there, Stefan Mellis, but unfortunately he got a nice little elbow to the side of the chin. Unfortunately, and off he went there as well. Webber's still here. Piper's still in behind him as well on that run down into turn 1. Watch it again. Okay, he had a bit more of a cleaner run there. Piper wasn't quite as close this time around.
And yeah, Wilcox's tyres are definitely starting to go off. So back what I was saying, Jeremy Greentree, who sits in 19th at the moment, he just a couple laps of chilling out and looking after that front left tyre. He's actually been able to take a lot of temperature out of the tyre. He's now really starting with his race pace.
Yeah, I think if they just manage to maintain, you know, keep it quite cool here, don't do anything silly for a couple of laps. Harry Inwood's just lost some positions. People are going into the pits. Mellis has obviously went in earlier. Miller's been going into pit lane as well. Reardon has been in. But I think they can cool these tyres down just by chilling a little bit. You know, you can see here almost Piper's doing what we're talking about at the moment. He's lost a little bit of time to Webber in front of him, but it's the same with Wilcox, it's the same with Provenzali in behind. So this pack is starting to spread out just a little bit. We've got Kurt Chapman and Bobby Camo battling away in the Challenger class. They're not really doing anything. Bobby's kind of sat in behind him at the moment. Whether Bobby is deciding that he's going to have a little bit of a fuel save with pickup going down into turn 1.
Righto, so this is the run of the final corner. Change of car for Bobby Camo too. We've been seeing him in the Ferrari for such a long period of time. Looks like the Porsche is certainly working better for him.
Now we're going to get that whistle out of the Porsche in 6th gear. Makes you sound like you've got tinnitus in the car. It's absolutely rotten. I do not like it.
I do not like the 992 Porsche at all. He's going to dive it late onto the brakes at the apex at 1. Gets it stuck on the inside. Bangs doors just a touch with Kurt Chapman out the exit. Long way around it too. Will present him with an opportunity at 3 if he can keep the nose in. Does keep it in. But around the outside, the defense from Kurt Chapman. He's going to hang on to the Challenger class lead and 11th spot. He was brave with that one.
Oh man, aggression was not the word there. He weren't going down without a fight, and tell you what, he definitely gave it to Bobby Camo there. Poor old Camo's going to need a new nose if that keeps happening, because Chapman definitely come across him and sliced him off there. He had the gap, he had the room, why not go for it? But poor old Bobby Camo then, well, yeah, that was a little bit of a shock. But you can see now what we've talked about. These guys have settled down for a couple of laps and then now slowly coming back together. Webber just made a mistake there. That's going to bring Piper into this, coming in at the moment through the right-hander, Corinteo, and that was due to the fact that Webber went in deep going into Scarparia.
Yeah, so little mistakes. More heat through those tyres will be causing issues. And Piper's starting to get a little bit closer. This might finally be the lap where he's much, much closer. And again, look at the lineup, a little bit wider at the middle of the final corner. Looking to get the power down a little bit early, didn't quite do it. In the meantime, McCrowan skipped clear to the tune of about 3 seconds down the road, so he's starting to make time.
Which is what we said. Which is what we said that would happen. The guys behind would fight. McCrowan would do a runner. What's Webber going to do this time? Keeps it nice there. But then again, Piper didn't really put him under pressure. Webber going to go and hold on to this place once more. Bobby Camo and Kurt Chapman, they are side by side at the moment here, Scotty.
Yep, so side by side, and again, up and alongside for Camo, nearly gets into the back of Kurt Chapman. Out the other side, they will both go, but the Ferrari in behind him of Brock Cat-Eye starting to get quite large in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, he's come in now because these guys are fighting, but it has come in quite nice. Jamie Saxon and Sean Bonici running side by side at the moment as well. Saxon sitting in there currently in 15th, third in class in that Acura. Bonici in behind him in the McLaren. Tucked in right there as well. So there's action for first and second in the Challengers. There's action for third and fourth. And Martin Hallinan has got his own little situation here with Benjamin Brook closing in behind. So that's fifth and sixth fighting out at the same time. Jeremy Greentree has got his own little queue of cars coming in behind him. Vinnie Nguyen, Matty Gerard, Kurt Nummerson, Leif McClimate, who's coming back from his pit lane start, of course. Down 12 from where he was on the grid, but effectively he's up about 14 at the moment from where he started in pit lane. So great job from him. Nick Bottrell further down has got Matt McCamley, Heaney and Middleton still fighting. Answer to your question, Dutchy, is Jimmy's car still the right way up? It is at the moment there as well.
We're both shocked and surprised.
Yeah,
shocked
he's in 8th place.
Surprised.
Well, he did say in the green room, didn't he? He's only done about 6 laps of practice. So he's done more laps now than he ever did leading up to this one.
Update from that squad as well. And by the way, Daniel Piper's just gone around the outside of Matt Webber at turn 1, so that one has now been completed. And Webber nearly loses the second spot to Jaden Wilcox in the process.
It's going to, if
Half
Wilcox,
an hour in.
Oh, go on, son. How brave are you going to be? How brave are you going to be all day? All day. We could have literally drawn that with a crayon and we would have figured out that that would have happened, Scotty. Where was the movement on the inside?
Yeah, day late and $1 short.
Oh, it's late. That's the problem. I think if he was more alongside, it wouldn't have been classed as his fault, but he was late.
But the thing is, JP, you were never going to get an overlap from that far back. You were never, ever getting to a point whereby racing room needed to be left for you. So that was just a little bit silly from Wilcox.
Oh yeah, that was it. He just went for a gap that weren't there. That's the thing. He went for a gap that weren't there, and unfortunately, that was the result. To be honest, but I think the way that situation was happening and the way Webber was driving, I'm surprised we didn't have that a little bit earlier with some of the other things that had gone on. So eventually it was coming, but unfortunately there just wasn't quite the patience of McCrowan and Piper that probably could have been done with as well.
Regardless, it's now in the rearview mirror. There's not much we can do about it. And after the early pace from Rue Koistra, he got that margin out to about 1.7, 1.8 seconds, and it's stabilised ever since. He's flirting with getting it up to 2 seconds at the moment, as some cloud cover is actually going to come over the track and start to cool the temperatures off just a little.
Yeah, 32 degrees track temperature at the moment, partly cloudy. So unfortunately, it's going to start, as I say, coming down. There was a sort of talk of weather. We had a quick chat with Jimmy beforehand. Did mention we might see some weather. So that's going to be an interesting one if all of a sudden it throws rain into the equation at some point here as well. But Sean Bonici was having a good old battle at the moment with Jamie Saxon. They were alongside each other going down into turn one. Bonici's managed to sit in behind him, and Saxon's managed to retain that position.
So pretty much, JP, from about half hour, 45 minutes from now, there is an ever-present chance of rain to the end of the race. So pretty much the final third of the race, there's a good chance that we're getting some rain. It's not a great chance, but there's an average to good chance that we'll get some rain.
Well, it's going to spice it up a little bit, isn't it? If nothing else here, I think. Oh, Bonici, all that work gone in one foul swoop. Oh, McClimer.
Contact, yeah.
Around the outside. That again was one of them scenarios where he looked very, very close. Alongside. Oh, yes. Oh, did he narrow it off? But
no, I'd say that's the car on the outside. Missed the apex, missed the turn in just a little bit.
Yeah, that's a tough one, I think.
Well, that's a tricky corner to overtake on. You kind of need to be on the inside, so.
Yeah, I think for McClimber, you might have to look back at that and think, should I have really been there? That's the question. Middleton's under pressure from Heaney. McCamley's in behind him, and Bottrell's in behind that. Bottrell and McCamley running side by side, currently going down into turn one here.
And in the meantime, racing does continue, like you've said. Bottrell, after being backwards on lap one, is on the recovery drive. Sometimes those are the most interesting. You never like to be a little bit mad, but sometimes being a little bit bad isn't a bad idea.
No, definitely not. You've got to get your elbows out at some point there as well. KNH over on the JPB YouTube channel. Hello, everyone, and hello to JP. Hello, mate. All right. I think Scotty's in the booth as well, didn't you? I was completely somebody out there. I'm not here on my jacks. But Webber has now got company of Bobby Camo here. Is Bobby going to show the same patience as Piper, as McCrowan did in front of him?
Potentially. That's the question we come here to answer, isn't it? What does the racing look like? Rook Koister's into the pit lane 34 minutes into the session, so this will be a three-stopper.
Yeah. Tucked in now for Camo. What's Webber going to plan on doing here? Leaves it. Narrows it in. You can see the different line from Bobby Camo to Webber. Webber was quite tight. Camo was quite late going in through to the left-hander. Lucho Poggio now. Again, Camo's tucked in behind Webber again. You can see further up the field at the front, Mason has got Butler and Trent Allen not far away from him at this moment in time as well. So Trent there in that Mustang, clearly handling it well.
Just chilling out at the moment. Again, just right there, right in the right group at the right time. Third at the moment, but remember, would be fourth on corrected fuel strategy. And Trent's been one of those guys that's been consistently able to save fuel as well. So any advantage that he can make up in that final stint. But what I'm hearing is about 140 litres is the total drop required here tonight. Somewhere around 45 litres a stop is preferred. And the reason for that is changing 4 tyres.
They're going to need to. I think that's the thing. They are going to have to. A couple of people peeled in there. Mason Butler peeled in as well. So they've died. That allows Trent Allen to keep going there. Daniel McCrowan, Dan Piper. McCrowan's still going. Piper's still going. Provenzali in pit lane. The Mercedes and Latella in pit lane. Webber's peeled in. Bobby Camo's peeled in. Brooke Kadai's peeled in. Wilcox is still... Nope. He's in pit lane as well. What about Isaac Norman? He's still going at the same time here. So a great job from some of these guys who are still able to keep going. But others, Butler, Mason, Provenzali, Latella, Weber, Camo, Kadai, Wilcox, Chapman, Benici, Hallinan, Gerard, Greentree, Newen, Nomanson and Foster all in pit lane.
Yeah, here come those strategy calls as well. So this is where you will see a few guys that will fill the tank and a few guys that opt to run it a little bit trimmed out at the moment as well. So keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, it's going to find out who's going to have the best strategy. That's going to be the problem. And will there be anybody with the ultimate strategy? That's going to be the thing. Would you go long? You know, I'm rubbish at any form of fuel saving, Scotty. I would just go run it out, fill it up, run it out and fill it up and see how I get on. That's my strategy because I can't do fuel saving.
Rick Hoystra, by the way, worthwhile pointing out, is about 6-7 seconds behind the guys who was 2 seconds in front. So actually, I think it's even more than that. So he's definitely taken a full drink of fuel.
Yeah, but his pace might pick up again. Hold on. Hold on.
Well, the big thing is that he's definitely taken 4 tyres there. So that outlap would have been on cold tyres as well, which would have been slightly off pace.
Yeah. But to be fair, the way he's been driving, I think Scotty as well, the way he's driving, I think he's probably got the pace to catch him back up.
Well, there's also fuel numbers. I'm just waiting to see my fuel numbers update at the end of the outlap for everybody. So that's what I'm just waiting on at the moment.
We're going to find out soon enough here how this is all going to pan out. Pit lane, McCrowan, Allen, Norman and Saxon. Bruce should pick up over a couple of these guys here. Going to keep an eye out. Trent Allen's on his way out at the moment. Bruce still not through. He's not past Harry Inwood. He's not past Saxon. There he goes. Starts shooting through the order now. Is he going to get McCrowan? Just about. McCrowan's going to come out on the left-hand side, just there. You'll be able to see him very, very shortly. There he is. So Ruse sitting in 5th at the moment. And Dan Piper's still not pitted, so he's got 9 seconds to Butler currently.
Dan Piper's going to... Okay, if Dan Piper pits at the end of this lap, he's going to be the only driver who will make it a 2-stop. So remember how we were sitting there and watching him just sitting behind that group of cars for a very, very long time. He had a lot more pace in the tank, and he wasn't showing it.
Yeah. But I think it's good that we're going to see this mixed strategy, Scotty, because the last thing we really kind of want to be seeing is people doing the same thing and nobody really taking a chance. And I think now we're clearly going to see people taking this chance of strategies, you know, finding out where their pace is going to be, how are they going to cope with this, what's going to be the situation, are they on a full fuel, are they on half a fuel, whatever the case may be. Piper's now in pit lane, so it's going to be where Butler's going to come out in conjunction to him.
Well, the thing about Dan Piper is that his pit stops bang on 40 minutes into the race, which means if he runs that again, he is at risk of running the extra lap and not making it on fuel. It'll be very, very tight on whether he makes it on fuel. At this stage, I'm going to say he'll probably finish 1 lap short on fuel, and I mean 1 lap short on fuel, but that was a great first stint for him. And remember, it is a 5.24 kilometre long pacing lap as well, so that's to factor in.
You can guarantee...
So his next 2 stints should be better.
Yeah, you can guarantee people were able to fuel save as much as possible, right? You know, they were literally trying to fuel save as physically as possible on that pace lap. You know, Butler, Mason, Allen and Rue's in 4th at the moment. He is about 9 seconds, give or take, to Butler. And we're going to find out how much pace he's got. Brad Coates has got into pit lane as well.
Well, here's the thing, JP. He's got 12 seconds more fuel on board than Butler. So Butler needs to be 12 seconds ahead of him. He's not. He's 9. He is 8 seconds better than Trent Allen on fuel, and Trent Allen's only about 4.5 seconds up the road. and he is 9 seconds better on fuel than James Mason, and Mason's 6 seconds up the road. So Mason and Jesse Butler, in terms of the difference in fuel in their cars, actually should be right now directly on top of each other. There'd be nothing in them.
That's what I think we love about this series, is the fact that it does end up bringing in some great fuel strategies. However, Provençali's got to be a little bit more careful going out that far there.
Well, I'm surprised that Dan Piper's wanting to lead over Provençali, because the thing is, I mean, you probably would want Provençali punching the hole in the air, but I think Rick probably just made that mistake, and that's changed things. Something just happened to Jamie Saxon. He just lost 2 spots. So something just went on there.
Got a funny feeling he might have slid this car up here. It's going to be contact, isn't it? Or is he just going to run it wide? He ran it wide on the gravel, couple of snaps, and that's how Saxon lost his 2 spots there.
So, the race now goes, as it always does, into this mid-race holding pattern. JP.
Yeah, these guys sitting there chilling out at the moment as well. This is kind of the F1 part of the race where you go watch the first 10 laps, go and sleep after your Sunday dinner, and then you watch the last 10. Because this is where we're at in the middle here at this moment in time. We've got Sean Bonici battling away with Kurt Chapman in 2nd and 3rd in challenges. They've been together for a while. Bonici made that mistake earlier on, lost a little bit of time, and is now sat in once behind him as well. Bonici trying to come back through on that Mustang.
Tell you what, this is a great change for Bobby. He was really having problems historically. It's just simple change of car has really turned his pace around.
Yeah, it's what you're comfortable in, though, isn't it? That's the question is how comfortable you're going to be in cars that you are normally sort of not good in, not bad in. It's how you're going to find the car now, and I think from these guys, they need to sort of really do at this point of the season, because we've only got 2 races left at Spa and Suzuka. They've really got to hopefully be in the car of choice by now, otherwise they are going to be in deep trouble at the moment.
So at the moment, 40 minutes in, 1 car looking to try and make it on fuel. It's probably worth a ride on board with Dan Piper as well, just to see what he is doing in terms of his fuel. Huge lift on the run of turn 1.
Yeah, Piper's clearly fuel saving as much as he possibly can there.
He loses a lot of time in the middle of the lap to Dan McCrowan, who's now 9 seconds down the road. Although, to be fair, Dan Piper actually didn't fill the car at that stop, so I'm all of a second starting to wonder if Rue Koistra might not have actually had an issue. He's the only driver with a stupidly long pit stop, and I mean stupidly long. So I'm going to have to go back and have a look at that pit stop.
Yeah, I did wonder whether or not he got caught for speeding or something other than what he should be doing here.
No, he's good on the way in. It went up on the jacks fine. The long stop. So, for the fans that are watching along at home, why are we pointing this out? Well, Rue's the only driver with a pit stop longer than 51 seconds, and that's transit time end to end. And it's 59 seconds. You can't just magically create that amount of space in the fuel tank.
Yeah, Piper's running
There you
all the
go.
way in. Fuel saving all the way in there as well. Mason now out the front end here. He has got Trent Allen not far back. Allen in the Mustang. Rue's just a little bit further behind him. About 5 seconds at the moment. So the gap from Rue to the leader has come down to 8.9. So Rue's starting to pick up the pace.
I'll be right back, JP. You take it for a second, because I'm going to go quiz that with Rue and just see if it was a little bugger up on the pit lane.
Well, Trent Allen sitting in third at the moment with Mason in behind him. Brooke Kadai there at the same time fighting out further down. We've got Benici still in his battle with Chapman, not really making moves forward. Matty Gerard there and Brad Coates. Coates further down, you see him on the left-hand side in 28th place, doing a great job there as well. Brooke Kadai chasing down Mark Webber. Then we've got Wilcox in there. Benici's still there. With Kurt still sat in behind Kurt Chapman. Matty Gerard still in behind Hallinan. Nobody really making moves there whatsoever. Scotty, what did you find out?
Okay, so pit stop was wrong for a reason. VR headset issues. Not a PC-based issue, but actually the physical device issues. One of the straps on his VR headset broke.
Ooh.
And in his pit stop, he took it off to take a beer, grab a beer. The strap broke, and he tied it to his head. So there'll be no beer for the rest of the race at pit stops.
Shouldn't be drinking and driving.
But that explains that. So yes, he does have to make all of that margin back.
That's my philosophy. Don't drink and drive, Rue. Share, sort him out. Come on. What's he been up to?
Hang on, her advice might be, no, he's having a great time. Go back to the drinking and driving.
Yeah,
you just never know.
That could be possible, but still at the same time, tell him not to be naughty. It's clearly affecting him here.
Well, regardless, he's now going to make that margin up. That's the big thing. And Jesse Butler's just caught traffic at the moment. He's just got his way through on 36th place car, which is that of Chris Withers, has just gone a lap down. But on the last lap, Butler actually dropped about 0.6 of a second back to James Mason. So Mason's quick at the moment. Trent Allen's a touch quicker. Remember, Allen went the longest on that first stint of this league group, so...
Yeah, Cher didn't think it the same way. She put, oh, what the WTF, Rue. So clearly Cher didn't think it the same way, Scotty.
To be fair, though, if that strap broke, I mean, you'd rather have it break earlier on in the race, probably. But I do wonder whether or not he backed off a little bit, saved a little bit of tyre, but either way. He was third fastest car in the most recent lap. Daniel McCrowan actually was the only driver down the 1 minute 47s. So he's actually got a fair bit of speed at the moment. He's nearly caught the back end of Rue Koistrup, by the way. Only 1 second out. But Rue has taken another half second out of Trent Allen ahead of him, a full second out of Jesse Butler. Now, that lead group has now navigated the traffic, lead group of 3, and that lead group of 3 are back together. Brooke Cadeye starting to run down Webber.
Yeah, Rue's slowly coming in here. We'll bring you up the gaps on the left-hand side. You can see at the moment he's about 7 seconds. He was out at 8, so great job from him. Benici and Chapman, their Velcro strap has not broken yet, and they're not leaving each other alone here. And they're still continuing to fight. The thing is, Benici's not really making the attacking moves over Chapman. So I wonder if he's using sort of fuel saving as best as he possibly can here to be able to extend that second stop.
You reckon Kurt Chapman's hoping that Sean Benici takes his VR headset off, reaches over for a beer and breaks the strap?
Well, I'm sure for Sean Benici, he's probably hoping for anything at this moment in time because he's been staring at the back of that Mustang for a long old time here and there as well. You get a set up with a straw for the next race, says Cher.
He gets a beer hat. A VR beer hat. There you go. That's what we need to work on.
Absolutely, I agree. I think he needs something there. Or put the beer down on the floor and then just join about 5 straws on at the same time.
Well, update as well. I did actually get some messages about Jesse Butler. His pace actually fell off for some very good reasons. Lap 26 and lap 27, he had slowdowns on both of those laps, so he's pressing on and trying to use the track limits.
So easily done. So easily done here.
We got a battle on for P2, by the way.
Yeah, they've just started coming back together. Alan did drift out a little bit. He's now coming back in here. So Alan in that Mustang, it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to be out or handle this. Again, he's another one that's been staring at the back for quite a while.
But again, he will comfortably sit in behind and fuel save if he thinks he can't get by. You'll press up, and whilst he can't quite get there, he will fuel save.
But that's probably an ideal kind of thing for him to do if he can't, you know, make the move. He might as well try something, and that's what he's going to have to try here is try and do something, because now, as you can see on the screen, he's lost out again and dropping back just a little bit.
And fastest car on that last lap was Rue Koistra. The only issue, he's not as fast as he needs to be. He's only took about a tenth of a second a race leader, but he is quicker. So that margin will close. Benici's still not quite able to make margin. Actually, Matt Webber's got a little bit of pace behind him at the moment as well. He's starting to come back at Bobby Kamal a bit. Oh, who is that?
I'll answer that question at the moment. Jaden Wilcox. That's the only one I've got showing at the moment. Brant Johnson is another one. Oh, very, very slow. You're going to spin on the exit there, son. Oh, yep. There you go. Big old hit for Brant Johnson. And then Brant Tucker also got himself in a bit of a pickle. I've got a funny feeling this could be exactly deja vu here. Oh, nope. He's hit the sausage curb for him.
Great save in the end. That could have ended up much worse.
So great racing still going on. It's all about the battle of fuel at the moment. I think that's where we're at currently with this one.
Again, Koistra. Fastest car on the track. 0.7 of a second on the last lap out of Trent Allen. So he is going to cruise onto the back of these guys any time in the next couple laps. So probably take him about 5 laps, but he will get there. First stint length was 19 laps for Rue, and we're about halfway through stint number 2.
Yeah, he's slowly making his way forward. Slowly making his way forward for Rue. Do you know what? I would worry at this moment in time, but the problem is he's had such great pace throughout qualifying, throughout the opening stages of the race. I don't even think I can be worried about Rue at the moment. I can just see him closing this down, retaking the lead and saying adios and go. Abraxas Creations, I've parked it tonight. Can kiss the rear. Let me know who you are in the race there, buddy. I think that might be Brent
Patrick
Tucker.
Red or Brent Tucker. Yeah, it'll be one of those two.
Can we listen to Trent's onboard for fuel saving if you want to? And have a nice little listen.
Well,
but they are
how about an overtake
side.
instead?
Yeah, side by side there. I think that fuel saving Trent Naylor's gone out the window.
Well, he was closer on that lap, and that's what's triggered that one. As soon as he was starting to close. All right, now it's time to press on. And Mason's just trying to fill that mirror. That was not much of an attempt.
No, he kind of just sort of stuck his nose out there and gave him a little bit of trouble. You can see from Alan's point of view, he's taken a load of curve on the run into Casanova Cervelli. Now he's going to let it go and run all the way out in Arabiata 1 and 2. For Mason at the moment, he's staring at a big old back end here, you know, and he's got to try and figure out where he can, where he can't, how is he going to get there, because currently he's not going to be able to. I think if that Mustang gets onto the straight, I think it's got the power to pull away, or at least sort of open up the gap there as well on James Mason.
I don't know what it is, but I reckon Trent's just a lot better on tyres, because you just see Mason got in behind him and couldn't do very much about it. So I do wonder whether or not that might be tyre related. And in actual fact, Trent Allen was very quick in the middle sector, so...
But you can see him opening up the gap and doing exactly what we expected. And now I do think that might open up a little bit more here, because obviously with them, the power of that Mustang out to 8 temps, no draft for the Acura, 8.5, and it's still going the other way. So clearly that Mustang has got pace for days, which we always knew it does have.
Yeah, Mason's really got no answer, and I think he's burnt up those tyres. So Koistra took a second out of him on that most recent lap. Margin's down to 2.2. So Mason's not just going to drop back to third spot, but potentially off the podium in quick order.
Yeah, he's going to have to try.
I'm really worried about Dan Piper, though, because if Dan Piper's running the times that he's running and he makes it on fuel, these guys are all in a hole.
Yeah, but the problem is he's sitting in 6th at the moment, and he's driving around a lot of the times on his own. Fuel saving. Literally. He is fuel saving a heck of a lot here.
But the other thing is, his times are matching the leaders. And he'd be doing it with cooler tyres, and that's the big point, is that fuel saving doesn't put as much load on your tyres. There's a bunch of junk on the road.
Yeah, blimey. Who brought that on? I wonder if that... No, it wasn't Wilcox, it wasn't Johnson, it wasn't Tucker. AKA Brant hit me. Okay. Hi, Brant. Whereabouts is he lifting going into turn 1? I think I'm going to keep an eye out and see where he's lifting into 1.
Oh, Kurt Chapman's day is done. There is a very, very bent Mustang crawling back to pit lane. And I think we found the source of all that junk on the road.
So no, I did wonder whether or not that was after. How did he bend it up? Hold on. Give him a minute here.
He's done it on his own, lap 31.
Yeah, he's done it to himself, hasn't he?
To Casanova, I think it is.
Oh, there you go. Big old snap in the back end, unfortunately. Going off there for Chapman. Do him steering there, son. Not too bad. Not too bad, but still. Rue closing in. And just in front of him is Mr. James Mason.
Yeah, Mason's got nothing left. This point in time, his tyres are shot. You know what? Mason might not have taken tyres at that first stop. And now he is paying that penalty.
I am very surprised at why he wouldn't have. I think that's a little bit crazy not to do that. This with me.
I agree with you. But, I mean, he was trying to avoid cold tyres, realistically, and he's just paying a massive penalty. He's out in the 48 highs at the moment.
Bruno closing right in behind Mason, coming back at him.
You just see the turn he's got's night and day.
Oh, dude, yeah, I think whatever Rue's got on that car at the moment, he's got that machine hooked up like an absolute... like it is on rails. I think that's what we saw earlier on with somebody in the chat, and he just seems to be able to do things in that car that the others aren't being able to do, and I think fair play to Rue. You know, he's done amazing with it, and Now, I think if he can keep this pace up, it'll be very hard not to have Rue as the overall winner.
Well, we're only at the hour mark. We're only at the halfway point. He's 4.5 seconds off the race lead at the moment, but he needs to get this pass done on Mason as quick as he can. Because that will be the big talking point. If he gets stuck here for a little bit of time, then the tyres go off, then he is in trouble.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree with you, but I just think at the moment he's looking so strong that I can't really see past Rue not taking this win.
Well, that comes down to Mason now, doesn't it? Really?
Yes, sir, it does.
Yeah, well, that one's going to be decided right there because Mason got very wide at the apex. The car never rotated back in. So run off of the final corner. Factor in a little bit of toe. And when they get to turn one, I don't think James Mason's going to have much of a defensive capability left to him. And Koistra to the inside, alongside. And gets it to the apex alongside as well. He'll be on the outside when they get it to, but he's 3/4 of the way clear. Not done yet. But it's all but done. Side by side. Still side by side when they get to 3. Builds the run off. And Mason is hanging it tough on the outside. They'll bang doors. He'll pinch him a little bit tight. This is important for both of these guys. For Mason, this is his spot on the podium. For Koistra, it's the race win going down the gurgler.
Yeah. He's got to go back at him here. He's got to show some steelies. As Rue,
and Daniel McCrowan says, "Hello, boys. You missed me."
Yeah, he can't afford to not take this. He's going to have to get his elbows out a little bit more as Rue and try and put the fight over with Mason. He can't afford to get bullied out. He's got to be the bully. Mason's got to be almost that little schoolboy victim almost, because for Rue, this is vitally important that he clears him as quickly as possible.
And now Mason has a much better middle sector of the lap and manages to punch out a little bit of margin. I'm wondering whether Mason might have not had a little bit of slowdown go his way over the last couple laps. And now you're seeing a little bit of a recovery in terms of his race pace.
Definitely a possibility, but I think if we was to look back and judge on the beginning, I think, you know, Rue's got to get this. But he has got McCrowan now tucked in right behind him here. Rue's going to be under a little bit of pressure. He needs to get a little bit of a hurry up. What's he got at the moment? I think he's still got about 5 seconds. So he's pulled the time down massively from what it was. You know, it was out at, yeah, 8 seconds at one point.
That was more than that. Now a couple more mistakes from James Mason is going to prevent the opportunity back in the other direction. Half a second quicker through the first sector. What was the 252 machine? Acura v Acura v Acura. In this little battle pack too.
Who's going to be the better of the Acuras, though? That's going to be the question.
Again, you can just see Mason's just struggling a little bit to get the car to the apex, get it where he wants it. And patience on the throttle. Again, look at Mason, gets on the throttle hard, early and aggressively, and then he pays for it the whole way down here.
How long is this going to be? Through the left-hander they go. Rue's got to tuck in right behind him. Butler's in pit lane. This is the moment for Rue. 3 temps out currently. He's got to make sure he can get this job done as quickly as possible here. He can't hang around going into turn number 1. If the gap's there, he's got to have a go.
Yeah, but is Mason going to cover it? Mason's just inviting him to go down the inside. Now, the thing for Mason is he's got to pull this car up, and he doesn't quite get it pulled up sharply enough. And now Rue will be thinking, well, I'm quicker, but he's got to wait for the mistake from James Mason. You can just see he's backing up his entries. He's so much slower in the entries as Rue Koistra, but he's making it up in the back half of the corners, in the drive off. Don't get suckered in here, Rue. Don't chase him through the corners.
Yeah, he can't afford to.
That's where Mason's making the mistakes.
He's got to let him do the mistakes. And he's got to just sit there and pick up the pieces. He's clearly got the pace. This is the thing for Rue. He's got the pace. He's just got to not do that. Eva. Jesus.
There we go. There's the mistake from Mason. Is he close enough? No. But Mason might make another out the other side. Not quite. McCrowan closes as well.
Yeah, action all the way through. You can see here these guys keeping it honest with themselves. Mason in second.
And again, Mason's wide.
Yep, Rue's got to close in now. That's going to be the problem. Is Gani get close enough to him?
Make him cover you. Make him block you to the inside. Make him think about you, and that might present the opportunity. Rue recognized there might have been an opening there. Backed out of it. Again, drive off.
Yeah.
Now the draft.
Great battle
Brent
here.
Tucker. Sorry, no, it was Nick Bottrell. My apologies. Nick Bottrell peels off, goes to pit lane.
It's not close enough. It's not close enough. There's going to be a dive and a half if he goes for it. Doesn't go this time for Rue. He's going to tuck in now through turn one. He's leaving it all to Mason to do on his own here. Mason's got to come in now. Through the right-hander they go. On that run, up into the left-hander, Matarazzi. Mason again, spinning up dust into Rue, through the left. He's got the right to go.
Oh, boy.
I know, I saw there was Glenn Jones facing the wrong way.
Yep.
These guys managed to miss it. Coming in the Casanova Savelli. Oh, he still can't get there.
Oh, big moment for Rue. Big moment for Rue is at the bottom of the hill at Savelli. Well, now he loses that margin again. Okay, change attack. We're inside of that next pit window. Remember, he went 19 laps on the first stint. We are on the 19th lap of this second stint. I reckon it's time to pit. Get out of the queue.
Mm-hmm. If you can. I do want to have a look and see how Glenn Jones ended up there. Is that Alan alongside him? Oh, Glenn Jones.
It's happened. There's damage on that car beforehand, though.
Yeah, you can see his... Oh, blimey. His front left as you're looking at it. There's more of that wheel showing or tyre showing than it should be, so it ain't the first thing he's done. But these guys still going at it.
He's got a pair. He can't follow him. He can't continue to follow him. Just pit. Get out of this pack.
Yeah. It might have been the plan, to be honest. Get out the way and allow these guys to go and, you know, fight it out and then pick it up after. Because the longer he's going to sit there, the more time he's losing.
Here we go. Here we go. Again, Mason very well. He just can't get the car to turn in the second half of the corner.
Still not able to get there, though. Mason again spitting up gravel. Coming into the left-hander for Matarazzi. Into San Lorenzo. Again, Rue's got to try and get close. Another puff of dust there from Mason. You can see coming up once more. Casanova Savelli through the right. He's just not able to get there. Again, I would be looking at getting out of this traffic. I'd be looking at basically getting into pit lane at the moment.
Because as soon as he gets out and gets free and clear air, he'll clear him comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he slaps 4 tyres on, it'll be cold tyres, yes, for a lap, but after that, Mason pits. Well, he's going to be on cold tyres. You can attack him on cold tyres.
Yep.
With a bit of temperature.
But he can't do nothing if he's just going to keep in there and sitting there following him at the moment.
100%. It's that second... There's something wrong with the front end of that Acura of Mason's, because he's just... It's regular, it's consistent, it's regular. He can't get the car to bite in the second half of the corner. First half of the corner, it turns nicely. He touches the throttle, and it's like all the weight comes off the nose of it.
He just obviously can't get
there
the
we go.
rotation in it. Rue's in now. He had to do that. Leave McCrowan to go and have a go at him. Hopefully they'll slow each other up for him. And he'll be able to come out in front.
Well, McCrowan's been sitting back watching the pair of them go at it and saving fuel the whole time. So he's been, yeah, if you can't make the pass, you can't do anything about it, do something else, right? And that's where McCrowan's been taking that advantage.
Yeah. He's got to. As you say, he hasn't got the choice. He's got to come in, try and get out of the way here for Root. Because otherwise he's just going to have to keep sitting in there, and that's not going to do himself any favours. I'd like to point out Bobby Camo leading the Challenger class, sitting in 7th overall here as well. So great job from Bobby Camo there.
Yeah, and the thing will be for Camo is that, yes, he is in 7th right now, but that is fuel strategy affected. Race position. Does Rue get a little bit of clear air to get out of the pits? And I believe he is going to find a hole in traffic. Just.
Got to try and find a way now for Rue. He's got literally Leafman Climate in front in that Lamborghini. So he's going to try and make that move if he can. See how far forward. He might not even have to, depending on what sort of pace Leaf's on at the moment. But Bobby Camo leading the challengers. He's got Matt Webber tucked in right behind. Mason has still got McCrowan clearing, having a go at him here, and they've both got the back marker there. That's Green Tree, I believe. They've just gone past. Yep. So you never know for Rue. They may have done it to themselves and slowed each other up in the process.
Well, he's only given him one lap. It was James Mason. And then he's immediately into the pit lane, so
I think
keep an eye on Dan Piper and all this too. Don't forget about Dan Piper and his fuel save strategy.
No, he's going to go and clear them now, but where is Rue in conjunction? Oh, he's a long way back from it.
That's what I'm saying. But this is all centering on the fact that Piper can get to 120 on the clock. So he's got to go an extra 6 minutes and 15 seconds from here.
Yeah, he's still not moving at the moment. Rue's on his way round the final corner. See if Mason's going to be going anywhere at any point. He goes just on the run. Rue's going to come out. I think he's going to be sat in behind him here. I don't think he's going to clear him.
Yeah, but Mason's going to be on cold tyres.
Yeah, he is. He didn't clear him. You are right. He is going to be on cold tyres, but Rue getting his elbows out on Leaf McClimate.
Had to.
Yeah. Imperative he did there as well. And now he's got Stefan Mellis back marker in front of him at the moment. So, yeah, it didn't quite work out.
Yet, give it time. Oh, there's a car off, and I think it's Nick Bottrell who will rejoin as well. That won't hamper Rue Koistra. Oh, sorry, it won't hamper James Mason, but it will hamper Koistra. Bottrell's had a torrid night at the office. He's been off a number of times, unfortunately.
Yeah. This was his latest one. Is this going to be all on his own? Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh! Very, very close indeed.
Also been watching the pit stops of actually Rue, and he's been slow crawling out of the box. Normally you hear the engine really peak up and other guys are quite loud on the pedal, but for Rue he's not. He's sort of feeding it out. His initial launch out of the box is very sedentary. I am wondering if he's losing a touch of pace in that.
Yeah, he's got to learn to get the hammer down more when he's obviously coming out of that pit box.
Well, this will change everything. There's a car stuck at turn 1. And it is Martin Allen, and I believe...
Well, we're going to find out very, very shortly.
He's on the outside of the racetrack. They'll probably let him tow from there. Yeah. This lap's critical for Koistra. Trent Allen goes back to the race lead.
Rue's back up again with Mason.
No, it's been deployed. Here we go. All right. So that will change things. Now, anyone who hasn't pit will pit right here. And that'll be Dan Piper's in a great position now. Because he will not have anywhere near the same amount of fuel to add, and he's in a great position to make it home on fuel. For everyone who hasn't pit, they will dive in, but for the guys who have pit, and I'm looking at Rue because he was the first of that cycle to pit, I'd be diving back into pit lane for the splash because I think he can make it home.
Yeah. 40 minutes there as well. There is the PrintRacer.net safety car driven by Scotty Bartain.
Well, this is going to carry us over to, I reckon, somewhere around the 1 minute 23, 24. 1 hour, sorry, 24, which is only a 36-minute run to home.
Everybody should be diving in.
Yeah.
Question is, will Rue dive in?
No. Okay, so they're basically saying...
Can he make the end? Is that why he's not diving in, Scotty? Not quite sure why he wouldn't have dived in, to be blatantly honest with you, but...
yeah, because they think they can make it. Depends. They're not necessarily switched on to that opportunity. There's just a couple cars that are going to lose quite significantly here because the race leader is Trent Allen, and the safety cars picked up 4 cars that are on the lead lap behind it.
Yeah, they should be able to get clear through, though, I would have thought.
Yeah, but it's just sitting and waiting. And Vinny Newen's also in the barriers and requesting a tow at this point in time, so he'll be waiting.
Yeah, they can probably grant that to him because obviously he's under safety car currently at the moment anyway. There you go. These guys going to carry on. Right. Just while they're under safety car, guys, me and Scotty got to refill our drinks, and we'll be right back shortly.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. we are just on a safety car at the moment. It was for an issue down at turn 1. And that car has now returned to pit lane, I believe.
Yeah.
So it was Martin Hallinan, the 28 machine, that did end up causing the safety car. I don't know what it was for, but I have a sneaking suspicion he might have not actually refueled. Yeah, that looks like a car that's out of fuel.
It just went, stopped, and that was about it. The VR
He was on an outlet.
Yeah. Vinny New and the VR Gremlins strike again.
Yeah, so wave buys have now been completed, by the way, as well, so...
We're going to find out who's going to make this to the end and who isn't here. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed.
Yeah, so safety cars in this lap. And we'll be back to green flag racing very, very shortly. But for now, we are going to go back to 33 cars on the lead lap. Actually, sorry, my apologies, it'll be more than that. I believe we'll get 35 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah. I love Vinny Niven's optimism. Anyone want to donate a little RTX 5090?
Welcome to the stream, Pedro, by the way. So effectively, what I will say is, because you and I both know about this, most of the Australian audience does, for those that are joining us from overseas, this is a little known thing that the Australian community came up with a long, long time ago. I think it was first run in about 2016, 2017. We've been running with it ever since. Is effectively we have a manually driven safety car. We don't use any of the iRacing automated safety car systems. And actually, this system's actually made its debut in the Majors Endurance Championship this year. They're running some IMSA-style endurance racing, or a similar system. It's a manually driven safety car. There's a lot of feedback that goes from race control towards the driver, so you have to be listening to the in-race radio and wait for all the inputs. But effectively, yeah, manually driven safety car means that everyone's still allowed to pit, strategy games still continue playing out. There's a lot of benefits. Trent Allen will lead the race, but he's got control of the field right now, and he will wait. Green flag's been waved, and the field is back under racing action. Daniel McCrowan sits second on the road. Allen and McCrowan now in a really, really strong fuel position to lead this race to the flag as well. And Dan Piper's made a bunch of spots as well. He now sits fifth on the road. He's actually the inside of Koistra. Won't quite get there. Will get there. Will get clear at the exit of turn 1. So change inside the top 5. Piper's gone from leading the race on an effective fuel strategy, or at least being there and asking questions. The question was, would he make the flag? We'll never know.
I'm surprised that that's been done so early on for Root. It's now got to pick up another place here. But at the moment, Trent Allen out in front, McCrowan in second, Mason holding on in third. Currently Dan Piper 1.3 seconds back already for the three leaders. This is the group in behind. You can see the Mustang there, the Mercedes of Alfonso Latella holding up. You've got Weber, Provenzali, Butler and Bobby Camo all at the same time here. So this battle is going to be very, very interesting indeed, but I'm really sure this is one thing that Koistra did not want, is to be sat there in behind Piper.
Yeah, so now he's going to have to find a way past him, and that is a McLaren that's very quick in a straight line as well. It's also a McLaren with fresh tyres on. You would have thought Rue had some temperature in his. Not enough, as it turns out, not enough.
Yeah, Latella and Weber have just swapped places as well. And then they've come back at each other once more. That
I
running
wonder
behind.
whether McLaren just fires its tyres up better.
Yeah, it's possible, to be fair, especially at a track like this. It's possible that he's able to control them tyres as well. McLaren still can't clear Mason. Mason's still
Oh no, he's
down.
made contact! Rue's actually made contact with Dan Piper and he's been rotated off the outside of turn 1.
Which way round, though?
Sneaks, and he's no overlap.
That could be the end there for Rue.
Piper did have a wiggle on the way into the braking zone. I don't think he meant to turn in and cut across his nose, but either way, it's done now. Not much more that can be done about it. And worthwhile pointing out, that rain chance is now coming, and I can tell you, I don't know if you can get a shot of it up, there is blue and green on the horizon and on its way in. And green rain, well, you get any green rain, that is a transition over to a wet tyre. This one's not done. This one's not done. I reckon it's about 15 minutes away. We're going to have the last 15 minutes of this race where potentially a tyre change is required.
Yeah, we're going to find out. We knew it might come. We knew the weather might be on its way. But it's now going to be whether it's going to be... when's it going to scheduled for? That's the question.
Well, it's going to hit from effectively the last corner area of the circuit first. It's going to hit sort of, you know, where the circuit doubles back on itself. It's not actually. It's going to hit sort of Savelli, that area sort of first. So give you an update when we sort of get to that section of the track. So that track map we've got in the top right hand corner, the southeastern corner of the track is right where it veers back towards the final corner.
Well, probably the worst part of the circuit it can hit, to be blatantly honest with you, because that's probably the most wiggly bits here that the guys got to contend with. Provenzali here fighting it out as well. He's having a good old scrap at the moment. That's Webber in front of us. We know how difficult Webber's been to overtake all the way through this, Scotty. And is Ricky going to have the patience to deal with this?
Well, therein lies the tricky part of racing, isn't it? But actually, a little bit of trivia for you. Do you remember the last time we were at this circuit? Ricky Provenzali turned Jimmy Middleton on that day.
Was it?
Yep, it was in GT4s though. Wasn't in the GT3 category.
Oh, okay.
And do you remember?
Dude, you're asking me. I better remember what I did yesterday. This is gonna be a trivia question that I may not even get remotely anywhere near right here, Scotty. I've got to be honest.
Who was the driver that consistently ran out of fuel and it started at this track? They ran out of fuel in the GT3. They ran out of fuel in the GT4, and that was the next two races as well.
No, I mean, it's either Dutchy or Gretsch.
No, it was Adrian Gretsch. It was Adrian Gretsch.
Yeah. Okay, so I
wasn't
got that
Dutchy.
one. Yeah, I got that one right. Check me out.
Because I knew it was a name starting with A. I couldn't remember the last name, so you filled in the blanks for me there.
Yes, because he finished he finished about 4 foot from the line, didn't he?
In both the GT4s and then he backed it up the next week in the GT3s. Yeah. There you go, league trivia. Race is on for P2 at this point in time. Mason has once again fired those tyres up. The tricky part is he going to be able to hang on to them this time?
Right, he's going to try and go around the outside. McCruen's going to have that inside line. He's got to open it up a little bit. He's left him gaps. McCruen does make it through. Mason down into third. Rue's going to be in fourth, but whether or not there's a penalty coming, that's going to be the question here.
Well, I'm pretty sure they just said 156 and 252, no further action. But just leave that one.
If that is true.
No, so 156 is not Daniel Piper. I thought 156 for a moment was, and it's not. Piper is 149.
Okay, well, we'll find out what's going on. Trying to get some information here. Whether or not Rue's in trouble. There is a big, strong possibility.
I don't think we have an update. I don't think we have an update on that one at the moment. That's what I'm just trying to catch up with
Well, we're going to keep an
But
eye
Mason
out.
has got pace.
Insane, if not a penalty. Well, yeah, but we're not RC, so they look at everything, dude. We look at one shot because that's about as much time as we got here to have a look. Butler's in behind Webber. Latella there as well. Provenzali's a little bit further back after making a little bit of mistake. See Webber trying to hold on. Latella's going to go around the outside. Butler's going to come at him on the inside on that run out of Bergini. What has this Porsche got in consideration of front speed here? Can he clear him going down into turn number one? Rue's a little bit closer further up as well. He's not going to get there.
Oh boy, here we go. There's a big old battle pack at the moment with a bunch of drivers nose to tail. Foster, Benjamin Brooks, Sean Benici, and Daniel Piper's in and amongst them. That's why I sort of knew about it. I was just sort of trying to keep an update of where Daniel Piper fell to. He's 18th at the moment. And Koistra, again trapped in behind James Mason.
Yep. Cannot clear him here. If there is any justice in the world, Gruckle, what are we on about? You know what I mean?
Well, the justice
it's a race.
could be coming. The justice could be coming in the form of raindrops on the windscreen.
But it's not going to, this is the thing, whatever penalty you're going to give Rue, whether it be a stop and hold, a drive through or anything like that, it's not going to get Piper's position back. He still is where he is. So yes, why Rue will get a penalty. Piper at the moment is down in 17th place currently, and he is basically about 11.5 seconds away from Rue. So the only thing he might be able to get is the position back over Rue, but in general, I don't think it's going to massively affect what has happened here to Piper. You can't punish the cause. Well, you can punish the cause, but you can't punish the effect, I think it is, isn't it? Is that the way it works?
It depends. Depends what your approach is. So. I just reached out to my contact over at HCS Racing and said, you think that rain is going to hit in time? And are the boys prepared? And the only response I got back is, not sure if they are prepared. Koistra gets to the inside of Mason on the run of turn one. This will decide. P3 at least, so Koistra gets the nose ahead for now. Finally, after a very long period of time, he has sat, he has watched, he has squabbled with James Mason. Finally, he gets the overtake done. That only took him about half an hour longer than he would have wanted.
Yeah. But for Rue there, he's now just got to kind of get on his bike a little bit. Is Trent saving? We don't think there's many actually saving anything after that safety car.
I don't think he needs to.
No.
I don't think he needs to. He might need to save a touch. But if that rain hits, by the way, if that rain does hit, he won't need to save at all, actually. That'll take the fuel question mark out.
Yeah. So keep an eye out on this one as we're waiting to see if the rain does come. If it's going to come, it's only got 25 minutes to go. So Mason and Rue. Mason's trying to go around the outside at the moment. Is he going to be able to make it through Corinteo? He's not. He's got to look for the run coming out into 1 and 2.
10-second post-race penalty to Rue Koistra. So there you go. There is the update. That's just come through. That was hot off the presses.
The 10-second post-race penalty.
He's not going to overcome that.
So wherever he comes, we've got to add 10 seconds on. That's basically what it means for everybody at home. You could absolutely punish the outcome, but I guess depending on what PRL Sport and Code is. Well, at the moment, Rue's got a 10-second penalty, and he's got literally 12.5 seconds over Dan Piper. So even with a 10-second penalty, Rue's still going to be in front of him. But, you know, you can't no way punish an outcome. The only way you're going to be able to punish that outcome is by saying to Rue, move over, you got to let Piper back through.
Well, Dan Piper's going to crack on with a little bit of a battle at the moment, so it's worthwhile keeping an eye on him because he is in a dogfight with Mark Foster and Sean Benici at the moment.
Yeah, I can sit him a little bit further.
Oh, there's a car backwards. Wilcox is backwards, and Foster's got into it, and Dan Piper's just been tripped over.
Oh.
And that was Wilcox re-entering the racetrack. So how does he end up here? So
Oh, he squeezed him, left him no room.
Yeah. Play silly games, win silly prizes.
Yeah. Foster tries to avoid him and then hits Piper and then, well, then hits him again.
Yeah. Piper's going to have to come to the pits. He's got massive damage to that car.
Yeah. Foster's going to have to as well.
Get back out there. Yep.
Doesn't look horrendous, Scotty. I've got to be honest.
No, it's horrible. It's absolutely unloaded. You should see it from the outside. We're going to have some more toes here as well. There's a bunch more going on.
Jeremy Greentree's gone off the track.
And he's very close to the racetrack, and I don't see a world where this doesn't trigger a safety car.
How did he end up back there, though? Chapman in behind him. Oh, Kurt, really? Dude. It's a little bit questionable, but there we go.
It's been deployed. And the problem is, for all of those who have themselves a penalty, this makes things worse, not better, because this is going to restack that grid of cars. What it does do is it takes the fuel question mark completely and utterly out of the race. There will be no requirements for fuel saving now.
Mm-hmm. But as you said, the problem is for the likes of Rue, who's got that 10-second penalty. It's not going to do anything for him. This is only going to hurt him here. Because he's going to have to just sit there. You see the Print Racer.net safety car waiting for Trent Allen. Or in and around. I think it's going to be everybody behind Allen. I think, is that Dan Piper coming out of pit lane? Been told to go through.
He actually hasn't been told to go through, but the safety car was suggesting it with its positioning. There was actually no confirmation on the radio that he was allowed through.
Yeah, I don't think why, though, to be fair, why he would hold there if the safety car is not 100% out of pit lane. I think that's a little,
I understand.
Little bit harsh.
It's one of those things. Here's the thing. In a race procedures manual, you need to expressly be given permission to go past the safety car. Now, it is busy on the radio at the moment. There is a lot happening, but you must always receive permission to go past. So, in theory, now, the way that's covered off in the real world is that the safety car has lights and lighting bars. We don't get the option of having those on the sim safety car when it's driven like this. We don't automatically get to say that's an Aston Martin GT4 car that's out there that's circulating. It is the Aston Martin race spec GT4 car. There is no additional safety car controls. Now, that is where the difference lies. So how do you cover that off? You cover that off with express control of everything that's going on. And there was no permission to go past the safety car. Now, should it have been implied? Yes, absolutely. The safety car should have let those cars go. But I'll leave that one up to the viewer to make their own decisions on. That's just me as a pundit sitting here and going, I don't like it. I can see why it was done, but I don't like it. But having said that, I am a racing nuffy, and I'm a nuffy for rules done properly. JP.
Yeah, I just think he can't really sit there and hold him. You know what I mean? He's not even out of pit lane, and I think at the end of the day, he had the right to go round him. If RC pick up and turn around and go, well, you shouldn't have done, well, then there you go. Now, the thing is for this as well, we saw Rue able to pull away at the beginning of this race. Now, the question is, he may not be able to pull away 10 seconds. Can he clear these guys at the front and be able to open up a little bit of a gap away from the field? Or is that pace that he's shown all the way through this race and all the way through qualifying and that one pit stop error where he decided that he was going to try and get a drink at the same time, is that going to cost him more here?
Essentially. So the big question is now for Rue did not want to see this. He absolutely does not want to see this. And the reason why is if you've got a penalty, a time penalty to serve, and those are only applied at the end of the race, you're effectively hampered by this because the field's been all those margins have been brought back together. So you're going to fall more spots.
Only if he can't get away. If he can get away...
Not going to get 10 seconds down the road.
I know he's not. I know he's not going to get 10 seconds. But I think if he can get something to try and nullify, there still might be a possible silver lining for Rue, that he can go away and, yes, he's going to be upset that, you know, VR and whatever else, but I think something is better than nothing. Nullifying the damage from obviously what he would have had for him, I think could be a little bit better than coming away and being totally distraught because he didn't get where he wanted to get to.
An update on the weather, it's not closing in quickly enough. So, so you remember probably the Blockbuster, probably one of the best races that we've had from an excitement point of view, whereby the crossover came, it happened, and it went again, was Watkins Glen. We're not going to get to a wet tyre here. We're going to get rain in the last 5 minutes of the race. It's going to come, when it gets here, it's going to chuck it down. So it's just going to be about survival at that point.
Yeah, or are we going to see...
You're going to have a couple minutes of it.
Or are we going to see another Lando Norris moment where he's out on dries and everybody else is on wets?
No, it's not going to get to that point.
Okay.
The difference with the Lando Norris one was there was about, 5-6 laps left when it hit the crossover? Because we're going to get like 2. We're going to get like 2 to 3 laps where there's actually going to be rain at most.
Well, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the next 15 minutes of manicness.
This nearly makes, again, I think this makes it worse because the field's packed up again.
Query will be and whether or not how far they're going to be able to make this now. And whether or not they're going to be able to make it without any problems. Everybody is going to want to stay out of trouble. Everybody is going to want to stay out of trouble. Trent Allen up 5 places. He's definitely going to want to bolt straight at the beginning if he can. Get on his way, run away as quickly as possible, and just escape. That's got to be the plan for Trent Allen. Other than that, he's got to try and get away from Rue. Rue's got to try and get up front and try and run away from as many people as possible. So, yeah. Lots to sort out here.
At the moment, I was just waiting. I haven't heard any calls. No, sorry, apologies. I take that back. Safety car will be in this. Like, we will be going back green at the end of this one, which means we're going to be just under 15 minutes left to go. And in 10 minutes, that weather starts to hit.
How strong is it going to be, though?
Well, so I'm seeing a ton of thick green on the radar, and I'm just now starting to get the first inklings of probably what's going to hit the racetrack. You know, we're only going to get really, really light rain. So there is a ton of heavy rain in and around the track, but the track's only going to get very light rain. And the problem is that updates minute by minute. So I haven't been able to tell you that until just now. It really looks bad, and it looks like we're going to cop an absolute hammering from the rain initially, and that is now eased. As we wait for Trent Allen to get us back under green flag racing, and now he will go. For the front end of the field, he's got the jump. Already see cars looking to take advantage of a restart in the background as well. And it's Alfonso Latella in the Mercedes who's trying to get to the inside of Jesse Butler's Porsche. Does get the nose in at turn 1. Can't get it far enough up. Koistra's managed to stay ahead of Mason. Now he'll start to apply some pressure. Everyone's tyres would have cooled off in this little break that we've had as well. And 2 hours worth of endurance racing gets condensed to a 15-minute sprint.
I'm being offered $1 bet in YouTube chat here, and I'm not quite sure what I'm betting on, so I don't share. Fill me in on what it is I'm putting $1 on, and let me know what it is, whether or not Rue's going to be able to get to the front and escape, or what's the actual terms of this before I do this.
He's not going to be able to make enough of it. I reckon his best finish tonight's probably about a 10th. It's probably the best they can hope for.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. We'll handle that. And we watch and we wait for this to start to unfold. Latella now comes under a touch of pressure from Provenzali for 6th spot. This is the group of 3 at the front. I'll give you an update on where Rue would pop out after the penalty when they cross the start-finish line here. He's within half a second of the race lead right now.
How far's he got to go?
So at the moment, he would be 33rd. Oh, no, sorry, my apologies. It's just updated. He would be 21st at the moment.
May is going to be gutted. Absolutely gutted. He had the pace
Yeah,
here.
but there's still to come. McCrowan's now off the track. He's run wide at turn 2, and Rue's going to try and go around the outside. He does get the nose ahead. He sent it in very deep at 4, gets it parked up. Now he'll run off the track as he struggles to pull it up at 5, and he loses his spot back again. Didn't need to go that deep. McCrowan actually gave him a ton of room, and he was going to let him have it.
Yeah, unfortunately for Rue now. As you say, plus that 10 seconds. 19th, give or take. That's what I've roughly got him and around as at the moment. Not going to be able to get anywhere here. Alfonso Latella is wrapped in. He's got a queue of cars of Provenzali, Webber, Brooke Kadai, Leaf McClimate, Ben Jeffrey. Benici taking the lead in the Challenger class at the moment. He's got 3 cars of Inwood, Norman and Wilcox. Inwood has made gains there from being down in pit lane. So great job from Harry Inwood as well. And what was it? Leaf McClimate was the other one, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. So they're up in 10th and 13th after their pit lane start. Great recovery from him.
Yeah, great job. Great job. Unfortunately, there's actually going to be a little bit of contact. Matt Webber's very sideways at the final corner. He's managed to recover it.
He's going to go over his
trying to go around the outside.
Went over his nose.
Kadai. Kadai's hard in the barrier. Now Matt Webber is going to have a fight on his hands as McClimate starts to get inside the top 10. Can he go the long way around at turn 1? He is on the outside. He get the inside when they get it 2. The chicane back up there, but the Lamborghini struggling to get a little bit of traction underneath it. Webber's gone around. They'll both slide. And after getting such a rap from the commentary box, it's come unstuck for Leaf McClimate.
Well, McClimate's down. Webber managed to keep going in a straight line. So McClimate was unfortunately a victim of that. Now, which way round was this? That's going to be the question here. Climate's alongside. Webber's going round. Oh.
Webber's off the zone and then made contact.
Yeah, Webber was going to be going to cop something there. Benici in his own battle with Harry Inwood as well. This is obviously Challenger. He doesn't really need to be there. But Benici doesn't really need to fight this out. But look behind Norman and Wilcox running side by side.
Wilcox is trying to cut his way back through the field after falling. One of the early hurdles was the big gainer. Made a ton of spots at the start of the race.
Yeah.
in that first stint. Has only ever fallen since.
What kind of rain are we getting? It keeps changing. Green, so light to medium. That's what we think is coming.
Greens towards way towards more of a medium rain, medium intensity. Yellows and above don't happen. Well, actually, they can actually happen in hosted sessions, which this is now, but it can't happen in official sessions anymore. We only get green intensity rain in official sessions.
Well, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because whatever we're going to get. Oh, blimey! There's a big old dive there from Saxon in behind. Managed to get the job. Yeah, he got it done, but he come from a long way back there. Trent Allen's under pressure up front. McCrowan and Koistra continuing to fight here. These three leaders, 8 minutes to go.
Teammates. So that'll be Jamie Saxon getting a little bit of a hand from teammate Isaac Norman. Someone would have been, seen a mile coming. They would have been conversing about that one, I'm sure.
I think Ben Brook has just had a moment there because he's dropped down the order. Heaney, Middleton's been off the side of the circuit as well, between all of them. So lots of action still taking place a little bit further back. Allen, McCrowan, Koistra, Butler, Mason, Latella and Provenzali, and then you've got Jeffrey, Webber, and then Bonici's got Inwood and Wilcox tucked in behind. Straight run to the end now, Scotty, 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, good update, by the way. As of the last time by the stripe, Koistra would be in 11th spot. So that's improving massively with the field spread that's starting to happen inside that top 10.
Not
And
ideal.
from what I'm looking at the moment, 9th is probably now his best finish. So capable of it. I'd say this time past the stripe, it'll comfortably be 10th. And then from there, it's sort of a big gain to get back to 9th. So, but it is starting to happen his way.
Well, there we go. Rue's just got to make sure he can keep going forward with it now. Keep holding on. Keep going forward. Bit by bit. That's all he's going to be able to take, and just make sure he's sat there at the end, because at the moment, he's got a lot to try and overcome. Bonici and Inwood running side by side. Oh, Bonici managing to hold on here. Inwood can't find a way through. Wilcox is still there at the same time. These guys battling it out. Of course, Bonici leading the challengers. Probably no real reason to give these a fight here. But he's having a go anyway.
Daniel McCrowan's just made a big mistake, actually, in the battle for P2. He ran very wide, and he's run off the track once again. So Koistra is going to go sailing on through. Second spot. Now picked up. Now he'll set the eyes on Trent Allen.
Kind of needs to, really. He needs to try and get as far as he can possibly get. He's not going to, as we know, we think he's definitely not going to get the win. He's too far back for that. But he can try and make up as many positions as he can at the moment. 10 seconds will put him in 9th. He's got about a couple of seconds to try and get up the road a little bit. Try and get away from 8th place in Ben Jeffrey, but it's going to be a tall order here. Check out the gaps on the left-hand side at the moment. You can see 10 seconds is down with Bonici. So he's got to try and get on the way a little bit if he can.
So keeping an eye on Matt Webber's times. Koistra's got to found about a second to clear Matt Webber now, and that'll be 9th spot.
It's looking like, no offense to Rue here, it's good tough.
Actually, I think Webber's going to have penalties coming his way, so that should be comfortable 9th spot now for him. The problem is he's going to have to find 5 seconds then to grab another spot. That's just not happening. So he just needs to park the bus effectively, but he won't know that. And there's no way for him to know that. Trent Allen might know, with some voice from some assistants in and around him, that Rue has a penalty, and it's not worth fighting that one. His target will be McCrowan, so he may actually be aware of that one, and McCrowan might have been the same, might have known that Rue's not in this fight.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go to try and even remotely open up anything, and we've only got 4 minutes left on the clock. Benici still leading challengers. Allen's still out in front. You can see them there on your screen. Rue's half a second back, 10 seconds. He's 9 point, what's he at the moment? 10.2 seconds to Webber. Give or take here from Rue. I think he got the moment to there. Let's see what he's got going back. 9.76 to Webber.
It's
right
close,
now.
very close. What's out over 10 seconds now, so I think Webber's made a mistake again. And that's that one drift a little bit more. But again, we're expecting penalties. I'm pretty confident there's a penalty coming the way of Matt Webber. So I'm fairly confident that one will be resolved.
Well,
now, how hard does Drew want to push on? Because he's got the fastest lap of the race, by the way. He's got it by a significant margin. It's not even close.
he's got to get on his bike a little bit. I think that's the thing for Rue. Everything's kind of fallen apart with that 10-second penalty. So he's now got to just try and nullify it as much as possible. Try and sort of bring it down almost. But the question will be is how down can he get it here? Because Jeffrey at the moment from where Rue is to Ben Jeffrey is 8.04 seconds. So he's got another 2 seconds to try and make up there, and that's always going to be difficult.
Yeah. Jesse Butler's got his way back to fourth spot on the road now. That'll become third at the end of the race, so at least podium in the offering. And the rain's still not here, and I don't think we're going to see it after all. The wind's slowed down a little bit on it. It's just not come at us quickly enough. We are inside a minute and 20 seconds to go now, which means that the white flag will be in the air, and that rain is not going to hit in time. Guarantee that would have been final lap of the race.
Yeah, it is now. Barney was waving.
Yeah.
Rue's going to look. Don't give yourself any more trouble than what you've already got at the moment. 8.2 here from Rue to Jeffrey. 8.1. So he's got to find a 1.9 second lap here. That's quicker than anybody else. Otherwise, he's going to be a little bit further back.
If he fights, it's going to swing in the opposite direction. It's not going to go in his favour. But there is no way for Rue to know that from the seat of the sim. And in fact, Rue's actually going to clout the sausage curb, and he's going to end his own night on the last lap of the race.
Oh, dude.
Heavy contact with the barrier. Jesse Butler's going to sneak on through. And in fact, it's going to get worse, not better.
No, round he goes. We'll have a look back at that after the effect here. We'll just wait for Trent Allen to go through. And unfortunately for Rue, the upside is he left it all on the line, right? He's left nothing on the racetrack. He's given it everything he had. And unfortunately, he didn't finish off well.
And for Trent Allen, leads the way in the Drivers' Championships. Andrew Dutch was his closest competition here tonight, not in attendance. Hardware issues, and the rain has just started as they head down to the final corner, by the way. So the rain did make it just. But for Trent Allen, margin in the championship will open up. There is 2 more rounds left after tonight, and the questions will be, who is going to catch the Ford Mustang? Who is going to manage to challenge him? He wins from Mugello. 2 hours worth of racing. The rain comes down, and it's raining Trent Allen.
Yeah, he's done a great job as Trent managed to take that victory. Stunning job, and that was just basically being in and around where he needed to be all the way through the race, and he's taken that victory, done a great job there as well. Big shout out to Sean Benici, wrapped up the Challenger class win here currently as well. So great job from Sean there, taking the Challenger win.
Yeah, Sachs is going to get home second. Brad Coates, I actually don't think was here tonight either. He was leading the Challenger Championship, so that'll be a drop round taken for him.
Trying to find the moment that Rue stuck it in the wall here. It's not going to be far from here, I think.
Yeah, there it is.
Bang.
He gets down to the next corner and the car is just bent.
Because he ended up spinning it up as well, doesn't he? And it just goes round there for Rue. So, very rough indeed. But at least he can sit back and say he gave it everything. He left it all on the line. He didn't leave anything in pit lane. He's just whacked it all on the racetrack. And he's gone for it as well. Heaney's going to be the last car to come over there. So, yeah, for poor old Rue. Great job. And the 10-second penalty on top of that as well.
Yeah, well, it won't matter in the end, but Greg Heaney finally managing to get across the start-finish line, and that rain has come down quite heavily since I'm already seeing actually a fair bit of spray off a number of cars actually on their cool-down laps. Disappointing for Daniel Piper as well. He was there and in with a lot of opportunity to win this one, and that race just did not fall his way.
No, not at all.
Still more calls coming in from race control, by the way. Late on after that one, there was actually a fair bit that happened in those last few restarts. Trent Allen gets it done from Daniel McCrellan, and Jesse Butler gets home in third. James Mason was quick on the tyres, managed to hit him up quite quickly, but the problem was they went off a little bit as well. Still manages to get it home in fourth from Alfonso Latella. Rick Provenzali will fall one spot from his fifth place starting position to sixth spot. Ben Jeffrey, Matt Webber home inside the top 10. Sean Benici home in ninth will win Challenger class inside the top 10. Jaden Wilcox had speed, gained a bunch of spots, lost them all again. Harry Inwood will get home in 11th. Second spot in Challenger class, Jamie Saxon. Nick Bottrell, sorry, Brad Coates was here tonight. Sorry, my apologies, Brad. You went missing. That's nearly the kind of race that you needed to have, though. Very, very quiet one for him. Home third place in Challenger class. Jesse McMenamin, Kurt Normanson, Nick Miller, Kurt Chapman, rounding out top 18. Here, JP.
Yeah, and then on from that, it's Glenn Jones, Brant Johnson, Isaac Norman, Stephen Mellis, Nathaniel Coburn, Matt McCamley, Ben Brook, Chris Withers, Dan Piper, and Greg Heaney. And then in behind that, the last few of Rue ended up down in 29th place. Ouch.
That is the field home. Off the lead lap, Jimmy Middleton, Matty Gerard, Letha McClimate, retirements. Brock Cat-Eye as well was not home after contact late with Matt Webber, I think it was. Jeremy Greentree and Bobby Camo. Bobby qualified so well. He would be very frustrated with the finishing in that one. Mark Foster, Vinnie Newen, Martin Allen and Brent Tucker and Pat Reardon, the drivers that were able to get into the server. Pat did take the start. Only made it, unfortunately, about 11 laps into the race, unfortunately, before that one was giving up the ghost. That is the field. That is the results. And now we're just waiting for our finishers to jump in.
The Brad Coates sat in the green when waiting for you, if you want a quick chat with Brad.
Yeah, potentially. Third place out of Challenger class, so in with the result. An update on Matt Webber, by the way, 25-second post-race penalty for the contact with, that was with Brock Cat-Eye, I believe. But anyway, Brad Coates is here, leading the way in terms of the champion. Brad, I actually said at the end of the race, I legitimately haven't seen you all night. I don't know if he's actually here. And then I went, oh, no, wait, he's finished third in Challenger class. So, quite not at the office then.
Oh, mate, anything but. First lap, got caught up in a group hug, sent it back to 40th, and then just trying to put out the laps from there. Just helped with a bit of free. I was able to cut him and safety car then kind of fell my way.
I was just going to say, how was it watching the weather numbers for you guys? Because we were sitting up here, we could see the cloud cover and what was coming at us. You guys couldn't. But I can tell you, it was looking very, very dark on the weather map. Were you guys scared about a little bit of rain at the back end there?
Well, joke's on me. I'd practiced in the dry all week and didn't check the weather. And then at the start of the race, I pooed my pants a little bit when I saw the rain coming. But thankfully it held off and I held in, and here we are.
Mate, well, I guarantee you it's probably going to be still the lead of the Challenger class in terms of the championship. You've been inside the top 10 week in and week out in terms of the overall standings as well. So it's been such a strong season, but would you just put that down to just nice, quick, consistent races and nothing too outstanding in terms of the results thus far?
Oh yeah, I'm not a pace guy. I'm not a one-lap wonder. I definitely don't have the pace that some of the quicker guys have. But what I generally seem to be able to do is just kind of keep ticking over the laps, put on some trance or some hard house, and just keep banging out those laps and somehow end up at the top. So keep on doing that, and it seems to be a winning strategy so far.
Hey, congratulations on the race result tonight. Who would you like to give a shout out and a thank you to?
Shout out to my boy Greg, who was our weatherman tonight and my crew chief. So he kept me on track and let me know where the weather is at. So appreciate you, Greg.
Mate, congratulations, and we'll be seeing you in a few weeks when we go racing once more. Congratulations on the result, brother.
Sounds good. See you for the next one.
Well, I can confirm for you, JP, we've actually got tonight's race winner here and ready to go. So I'll leave the interview with our race winner over to you.
Yeah, welcome in, Mr. Trent Allen. Trent, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Good, thank you. Relieved, sweaty, happy.
Relieved, sweaty, and happy.
Yep.
Okay. Did you? That's an image I really don't want, Trent. I've got to be honest.
Yeah. Sorry. It's all racing related, I promise.
Oh, okay, cool. I was glad about that one as well. Dude, how tough was it out there? You know, you've got to be honest. Rue looked strong all the way through. Bit of a pit stop error with a VR and a drink, I think, caused him some issues. Then you've managed to come through for that second half of the race. How difficult was it when the safety cars were coming out? Did you sit there and think, oh, this could be a bad one?
Yes and no. Was surprised to see Rue behind me after the pit stops because he had so much pace. But as far as the safety cars were concerned, I needed a break. I thought I was going to be close on fuel towards the end anyway, so they were a relief in that sense. And then we were just keeping an eye on the weather because I do not want to drive a Mustang in the wet. And luckily it just worked out in the end. I qualified poorly, so I was a few spots probably down from where my pace should have been. So it was more save fuel at the start, see where I go after the first round, and then, see where I pop out.
Yeah, the rain just about held off there. I can fully understand you not wanting to drive the Mustang in the rain, dude, to be blatantly honest. I wouldn't really want to be even trying to... well, I suppose on the upside, it's like a boat, so you might have been all right, of course. But I think it's still difficult out there as well. Going forward, where do you see this going for you now? You know what I mean? You were coming into this in the Challenger lead, in the Elite lead, I think it was. So, you know, you're still going to be there at the moment. Is it championship time to start thinking with Spa and Suzuka coming up?
I think the cliche is supposed to be, I'm not even thinking about that, but I check the points tally every second day. So I would love to be in the top 3 at the end. I've been doing this, I think this is the 5th season. I've been in it since race 1. Been trying to get a win. That's my first win. Only just got my first podium last season, so it's just been a push, a slow, steady push since I started in this league. But let's just see how we go, because like I said, all it takes is a bit of rain for this car to be... It's great in a straight line, it just doesn't turn in the wet, so who knows?
Definitely there, bud. Well done. Congratulations on your win. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, our team sponsors, AITT, Kiwi Clothing, Südspeed, IR Sidekick, Sure by 4. Our team had a great result tonight as a group. That's about it.
All right, man. Awesome job. Well, Trent, take care, bud. We'll see you in a few weeks in Spa.
Thanks, gents.
Take care.
Bye.
Do you have an update coming our way from Sean Benici as well? He just said, I'm not actually going to be able to take an interview. It's after 4 a.m. where he is. So he's going to skip out on that. So congratulations to Sean on winning the Challenger class. But obviously disappointed we can't have a quick chat to him. But the other driver we do have an opportunity to have a chat to is a driver finishing out of 3rd place here tonight. Jesse Butler led the race at points. I was getting a lot of updates from your crew chief over there in terms of strategy, but just wasn't to be here tonight in that Porsche.
Yeah, it was a you get the good and the bad safety calls, and just tonight was a bit of a bad safety call for us. But we had a bit of work to do in that kind of last stint. I think I dropped down to P11, so to get back to P3, I'm pretty happy with that. Actually, it's the best case scenario from where we were. So the win was definitely on the tables. Probably didn't have the same kind of pace that Trent or even Rue had. So congratulations to Trent. He drove stellar. He was really quick. So yeah, can't do much about that, but happy with the P3 for sure.
Mates, Mugello, tough track, and the thing that we were hearing was hard on that left front, hard on that left front, hard on that left front. Talk us a little bit through that, because I get the feeling that would have been so much of the conversation in around the race tonight.
It was definitely a big part of the conversation leading into the round. Tonight it was just trying to get that fuel strategy right, which didn't pay out for us, but yeah, it was quite difficult just to keep that front left, kind of not let it overheat, just trying to keep it in that kind of good temperature range. I think towards the end of stints, I was maybe a little bit stronger than some of the others, but there's a lot of time management going into it. So yeah, it was good.
It's looking forward. 2 rounds left to run here at the back end of the championship. For now, obviously, it hasn't been the perfect season that you've necessarily looked for. A couple of rounds missed with both round 2 and round 4, and then obviously such a rough race all the way back at round number 1. You get a little bit of help with the drop round dropping in, but 2 rounds left in the championship now. Look, I mean, there's every opportunity that you could be right up there and banging on the door in terms of points and inside that top 5. What's really the goal for the rest of the season for you?
Personally, I started the Bathurst round in the McLaren, so changed cars. I think won Sebring, and then had a good race started from the back of the grid at Monza. So for me, the kind of goal is the season's kind of a write-off. I probably should have just been in kind of my favourite car from the start. But at the moment, I've got the podium in each race that I've done in the Porsche. So if I can continue that on, I'll be happy with that and come back bigger and better next season and really target next season for the championship.
Finally, mate, give a big thank you and a shout out to anyone that's been of assistance to you, because like I said, there's a few people assisting you boys there tonight, and I know personally that the HTS Racing Squad, you guys are just a big bunch of friends having a bunch of fun, and really that's what racing's all about.
Yeah, big thanks to HTS Racing. I know a few of the boys really helped me out in the lead up. I only kind of bought the track 2 weeks ago, so thanks ads for helping me out with just kind of getting up to speed. Really appreciate it. Just everyone from HTS, love you blokes. Ozzy, Pete Edwards, and Quinny, thank you for spotting tonight. Quinny, love your work, mate. Always doing strategy for me. And just special thanks to Specialist Sales, simrigs.com, and BuildLog. But yeah, and thanks to Jeremy Graintree as well, being a champion and trying to get him a championship in the Challenger. So we'll see how we go. But thanks, boys, and just thanks to Premier Endurance League as well and the broadcast team. You guys do awesome job week in, week out. So thank you.
No worries, brother. We'll chat again sometime in the near future. Thank you very much for joining us.
He's done. Thank you, Scott.
Righto, that takes us to the conclusion of round number 5 of the Limited Series, but next time out will be round number 5 of the Open Championship, 2 weeks from now. Also back at Mugello on May the 31st. We'll return here for some more racing action before the Limited Series will get back underway on the 15th of June when they journey across to Spa. So I wanted to say a big shout out and a big thank you to everyone for joining us here tonight. JP, that was actually quite a big race, and then with the rain circling in and around the back end of that one, that's actually not played out too bad, to be perfectly honest. That was a joy to watch.
Yeah, it was. It was a little bit, little bit of drama filled as well. And then, we thought Rue was going to come out on top and he didn't, and which is a bit of a shame. But unfortunately, racing's racing, and he left everything on the racetrack. So that's all we can ask for here as well. But stay tuned for Spa. It's going to be exciting.
That's it. And ladies and gentlemen, we are on the way with more racing from the Premier Endurance Racing League. But for now, it's going to be say bye from JP, bye from myself, bye from everyone that's in charge of the series. Congratulations to all our podium winners tonight. We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. We go racing once more.